Hello guys, it's me, Cut Purple, and we're back
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
for not for broadcast. We are back here. We're gonna continue this game. We dissed out Jesus. We censored his entire song because we work. We work for the political company Advance. We need to make that moolah. We are sometimes splurging, so let's just get straight to it. No more spoilers on the TV in front of us. Let's just play. Enter new game. Welcome. Today, 242. A ladder worth climbing. It's a lazy. I don't know why I keep yawning. I yawn all day, every day. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon in the summer, with you and Sam making most of both kids being out the house. You head into the pantry, taking a moment to remember when it used to be your mother's room, before coming out with the last 2 slices of your homemade cake. It's rare for you and Sam to actually get to finish sweet things in his house, and you savor every mouthful. Just as you take your last bite, you hear the sound of the front door slamming. That'll be Charlie, back from the Go-Getters. You could hear him practically running to come find you, and grinning the ear to ear when he finally does. I have some really big news! You and Sam play along, sitting attentively with bated teeth. Not teeth, breath. I cannot read, for fucking crying out loud. Holy shit, I can't read. Ready? Charlie asks you both and you nod enthusiastically. With a flourish, he reveals a new badge from his pocket and proudly presents it to you to both examine as he announces, as of today, I'm a member of the first tier of the Cohesion Gets. There are way more stuff I'm gonna be doing, and I'll be working some weekends, but that is really cool. You and Sam grin back at your son. You're thrilled that he's happy and doing well. Wow, we're not sometimes splurging. We get to have holiday time money. We're almost at a year mark, guys. A sign of things to come. Shopping, sometimes that always seemed too tedious before the sanctions, but become even more of a chore now. You managed to get almost everything you needed for the family this evening, but you'll have to come back tomorrow to get through the week. There's a queue to leave the car park, though it's hard to make out why in the dark. Hopefully whatever's causing it won't be too long. As the final car in front of you drives off, you realize the queue is actually due to a checkpoint set up at the exit. A friendly-looking man in an advanced uniform, CCO, emblazoned in a number of places on it. Approach your car and knocks on the driver's side window. You roll it down. Good evening. Nothing to worry about. I was just wondering if I could see your team membership card, please. Sam signed you both up yours a few weeks back. You rummage through the glove box so you finally and eventually produce your card. Yep, that's all great, thanks. Don't forget to keep an eye out for the new team lottery starting up soon. Loads of great benefits to be won. You have a nice day now. The man is all smiles with you. So these cards are mandatory now? An invitation worth ignoring? It's Saturday, one of your few days off, and you've made most of it. But as late as afternoon draws on, the invitation sits pinned to the fridge, staring accusingly at you. The Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event. Bozeman was very quick to tell you. Also, don't you dare be late. Probably not worth the risk Bozeman's wrath. Better go. Best start getting ready. You wonder if Sam will give you a lift. A drink or two might help with the enforced office socializing. Hopefully it won't be too bad. After all, you're pretty good at your job, right? I don't like that. National News Night. Let's see. You arrive on time, barely, at the Sauvignon, one of the oldest and grandest hotels in the capital. You're surprised to see a queue to get in. You quickly realize it's because people are being searched at the door by some very military-looking person that was in smart attire. While you're waiting, you can't help but notice just how very opulent the building is. Possibly the fanciest place you've been to in your life. You submit to being patted down, and with a sigh of relief, you are led into the hotel. Once inside, you are directed to the grand ballroom, and following the signs, you'll marvel at the sheer scale of the place and the amount of armed security guards. When you finally arrive, a severe-looking woman at the door asks your name. I'm Alex Winston. Ooh, it's one of the leaders in advance. She curtly checks your lips before whispering something to the waiter beside her. You just made it, just in time to be seated before dinner. Please follow a manual here to your table. The waiter smiles at you and opens one of the great double doors, gesturing for you to enter. Immediately, you can see why it's called the Grand Ballroom. You pause for a second to take it all in. You feel a slight tap on your arm, and Emmanuel gestures for you to follow him. He seats you at the table in the central floor area, with a decent view of the stage. Clearly, you're in Bozeman's good books at the moment. You're sat with some colleagues you've seen around the Channel 1 offices before, but don't know that well. One of them informs you far too excitedly it's a very corporate evening of awards and speeches. At least the food should be good. Dinner is indeed lovely, and with the help of the no doubt very expensive wine, conversation flows easily enough. In fact, much to your surprise, you're actually presented with award for best newcomer on the Channel 1 family, because I'm an op! I've succumbed to all of Advance's bullshit. Well, I'm assuming Channel 1's very neutral. I hope. That's what they said. Well, this is very unexpected. As you walk up to collect it, you recognize as the presenter Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey of Inser's fame. He thanks Advance for sponsoring this year's gala, before specifically thanking the Prime Minister Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement for being in attendance tonight. Maybe Salisbury's the one. Maybe Salisbury's the leader of Advance, and I got that totally wrong. I'm still learning names. As you take to the stage, you can see the frontmost central table does indeed seat the Prime Ministers, as well as Bozeman, Meghan, and some very well-to-do types that you don't recognize. That explains all the security. As you're headed to the award, Dr. Atkinson Blimey asks if you'd say a few words. You're a little nervous and splutter out some quick praise for Advance in Channel 1. As you think Advance, applause breaks out around the room. Both Peter and Julia stand up and magnanimously accept it before saying the night's not about them, but thanks all the same. As you head back to your seat, you see Bozeman's nodding at you with a satisfied smile on his flushed face. Clearly, that was the right speech. Just as you're finishing up dinner, one of the people at your table points behind you. As you turn, you see Bozeman walking briskly past Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement in tow. You're pretty sure he was pointedly ignoring you. He seems to be introducing the Prime Ministers to a selection of people at different tables. Better than you. You finish off the rest of your meal, listen to the last few speeches, and then head home. All in all, it was a surprisingly nice evening. You might actually look forward to the next one, providing Bozeman's invite you to that one, of course. We're almost to the 300-day mark and the 1-year mark. Alright, well, let's get ready to the show. What do we got here today? Oh, Jesus, how I was portraying Jose might change his life good, honestly. I didn't like that guy. Not when I'm around, alright?
Now then, Alex, you'll have noticed the valves are heating up excessively due to the current heat wave. When they get too hot, the trip switch will blow, as you've seen. Once things have cooled down and the trip switch is back to normal, you can get the power back on. You should keep the fan pointed at the correct valve by aiming it up
Oh,
and
of course I had to do that.
gauge when you're facing the screen will warn you, so keep an eye on it. Also, maintenance tells me that the fan power switch occasionally turns off for no good reason, so keep an ear open for that too. I'm sure you've already worked
Oh, we got a
this out,
speaker
though,
now?
Alex. You're a rising star at this network, and we're all very
What, you got
proud of
someone
you.
to hose down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns. Give me the willies.
Oh,
10 seconds, everybody.
So, we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. And
the same thing, I'm not gonna pick.
A short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The World Council should make no mistake. This blockade and the illegal sanctions it seeks to enforce are an act of war and will be treated as such. Any incursion, however slight, into our territory will be met with swift and deadly force. You have been warned.
oh.
Taking the plunge? Far be it for us to be cynical, but it's beginning to seem like the wedding of a certain celebrity power couple is more about attention than it is about love. As this leaked photo shows, the naturals of heartthrob Johnny Handsleeves and art snob Tiffany Lamore were far from conventional when they finally tied the knot this week. In a ceremony that left very little to the imagination, the couple are insisting they hold with tradition. Well, as they say, something old, something new. In it to win it. Exciting news from Advance today.
I was wondering what the fan was gonna do eventually.
Because
I saw it basing on this like electrical thing. I got scared.
Lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what teammates
Yeah, I'm not
Q are
picking the
describing
homeless
as
dude.
unique prizes worth more than money used to be.
No, I'm gonna pick the homeless man.
Take up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Bitter pill. Is this the beginning of the end for responsibility? The male contraceptive pill, lauded by scientists as a remarkable achievement, has been widely rejected by the public. Sales of the revolutionary drug have been non-existent, with many claiming the world simply wasn't ready for such a shift in radical reproductive politics. Relentless CEO Sophia Remington has refused to bow to public pressure and give up on the treatment. Seen here outside Remington's Cysts HQ, the dogged businesswoman called the failure a
I'm
minor
so good at
hiccup
this.
before reducing 2 reporters to tears. Back to basics. It seems the team trapped in Dante's taint could be facing a problem too great even for them, as escape plans are scrapped. An image transmitted from deep within the cave system shows the doctors moments after they receive the news that they have lost public support for their reckless escape attempt. Could this serious setback prove fatal for their already troubled homeward venture? With all hope lost, even in defeat, these two appear to have stuck together. But can any professional respect survive the prospect of an eternity underground?
Come
Most
on, help
companies
our
can't even
help our
handle a
friends
shared
out.
Fridge. Megan, burning down the house? The Capitol was put on high alert last night after disrupt terrorists set an emblematic fire in the heart of Parliament Park. Violent conflict broke out at the demonstration after a mob of so-called protesters from the radical group launched an unprovoked attack on community cohesion officers in attendance. While the burning fist of resistance certainly seems a powerful image in these difficult times, fire officials were quick to
Disrupt
point
does
out
not like
had they
Advance
not
at
arrived
all.
in
They're
time,
doing this
and I
stuff.
quote,
Well, that's kind
"The
of
whole
obvious
bloody
though.
city might be
But like,
yesterday's burnt crumpets." All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News.
got it. I got this, guys.
But first tonight, Our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner of the country to see how the people of this great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns of the University of Princeton.
Dang, he is
Are
not
you
happy
enjoying
at
the weather
all.
As much as I am.
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my
There's a
car
heat
running.
wave out my house right now,
So tell
though.
us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon
Yeah, I turned
we'll
it
be
off.
getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Rivington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future, and may I just say, complimentary personal anecdote. Stop. Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that editing is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why,
Sorry.
God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think. There we are.
We need to evolve gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
What?
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Can't go around looking like that.
Shit,
There you go.
shit,
Much
shit.
better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is
It's
running
running out. Absolutely right. That is all we have time for.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
There you are. Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be, that everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf, here with science. Back to you.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, heads over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's team membership lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow,
Seems like a
that
pretty
sounds
good
so
system to me.
convenient, but we're all dying to know. What have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julius Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
Gotta back
I've
facts.
been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the guttering.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a poem about it.
Oh
So,
no.
can you tell me about
Yeah,
the
I would-
moment
I'm
you
like the-
first heard the news?
Yeah, I'd be upset too.
I was battling against a particularly difficult
Dang, he's hot in that studio.
sixth floor, when the
Drink the
headmaster
hell.
came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza.
So you were both polishing turds.
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected.
I don't polish turds. I write poetry.
He wants water.
So Gary,
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his downpipe?
there's no harm in asking, I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children.
Oh, I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one.
No!
Or an anthology of haikus on the death of innocence.
I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that.
Oh.
Are you all right?
Yes, it's coming.
What?
It's inspiration and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show, there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Here,
No.
this big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely.
What?
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
Well, if it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at old Blue Eyes here.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they
What?
are.
Where are
And
they
finally
at?
In this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the
Slough?
unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm
Dang,
here
that switch
live
up was
in
kinda
Grizzleford,
fast, not
which
gonna
was
lie.
recently voted the smelliest town in the country.
Enjoy the
I
water.
have to say that, you know, in this heat, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you.
Can tell that. Look at him, proud as punch.
Do you know what it's like,
What do you do that?
being the
Warning, electrified
sexiest
controls.
town?
Must be warned. Operate your own risk. No unauthorized personnel. Report violations
Who's
immediately.
laughing now, eh?
Tell you what, not me, that's for sure. So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Remington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built flour factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
So, what's sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying
Did
something
he shit himself?
about the production line and how they dump
I had the
parts
reaction of that
directly
guy on
into
number
water.
one. I don't remember his
think
name
it's
that well.
Probably a few
I thought it was like
valves on the
Tommy
high
something.
street.
On the high street. Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next according is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
That's not really a problem, never sung in my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous, why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Yeah, like what is he doing?
Love the Bannon, feel the Bannon.
I hate this guy. Love. I don't like Bannon.
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nano Dotty? Was that you?
How did he just get that
Why are you
now?
made out of elbows?
Ooh.
You know I don't eat opinions.
Oh, don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Barry. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back.
This next section features a potentially controversial guest.
1 minute
And Hans may request some censorship if he goes too off-topic. You've done a great job so far keeping everyone happy, so let's keep up the good work. Don't forget about that pesky power
200 fucking
button on the
degrees
fan.
in here. And I can't do this anymore.
You say this every Friday.
I've done something.
What do you mean? Jeremy?
My mic is still.
Oh. What the fuck?
That's what I'm talking about? Cats football.
Go away.
We should be doing an interview with the War Minister, or a report from Grentham Downs. Even the weather would be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy, please, just breathe. It's just something light to keep people's minds off things.
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot.
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds. Get over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself for 5 fucking 5, 4, 3.
Hi, Jeremy.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson.
Jeremy Donaldson, got it.
We'll be talking to the captain of the territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. So I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological fourboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Is that right?
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. At work, they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
Do people tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Huh. Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come down, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet?
No.
Or a sellout cunt?
Apologies. Just a reminder that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
A fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us, how can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
That it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't say.
Well, we may have to end that there, unfortunately. What a harmless bit of fun.
Steady on!
This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin, a ginger tabby with a world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once.
Enough! That's enough! Enough!
What are you doing?
Ooh.
Trying not to piss myself.
Alex, cut.
Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. Now, you in the broadcast centre, Bozeman's little scapegoat, you listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in
I might cut to
studio.
the ads.
I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football? We are on the brinks of a siege, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots.
I think my hiccups have stopped.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go, before I change my mind.
What's the thing isn't going off?
Lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Now. Good. Yes. Now. Right then. You in the broadcast centre.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, you listen to me. You pay attention.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today is going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
Look to your right. Yes, really. Look to your right.
Oh, I want me to play that?
VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of the machines. And when I say so, and not before, you play it.
Okay.
You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras.
I assume you won't be playing that tape. This station does not negotiate with terrorists. I hope I've made myself clear. You seem to know what to do.
Every single thing that comes out
All
of
right.
the studio.
I want to do it though.
Or for now, we're going to show the other side for a bit. For a bit of fucking balance. Like the good old days. Alex, play the fucking tape. Now,
I'm playing the tape.
Any of you. But if I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to start. By killing this man.
Let's hope you made the right call.
Reset the system for the third segment. I imagine the ratings are going to be through the roof.
Let's see what they had to say.
We are the resistance. It's time you knew the truth.
Okay.
You know advance are lying to you. You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID card, no matter what they try to tell you.
Yeah,
Why should you trust us? Another faceless organization. A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies. Well, this is not a movie.
It's him!
My name is
Alan James!
I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labors. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it. A great many people already won't. You can resist. You can disrupt. Find us.
The fucking security guard?
Join us. It isn't hard. We're everywhere.
Alright, Crazy Neil. I need you back.
So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off.
God, please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long? How long, Jenny?
We're already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Joining me, unexpectedly, for what I very much imagine will be my last broadcast, are two new guests. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News and is someone I consider, well, a friend. And next to her is, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
Officer.
Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's
good.
not about confrontation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
I don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
That's perfectly understandable. Who'd want to do this? Jenny,
It's even been a
why
year.
don't you join the National Nightly News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
Is. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
Well, there is a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that hood came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. The people I met were with, he wasn't there.
God,
I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry, but seriously, Alan fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for... God, I love you, Jeremy, but...
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
That right?
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you at home, you know it too. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. I mean, it's not sophisticated, but what a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grantham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these? Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You eat these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
What? I don't understand.
Do you want my help,
Yes,
Andy?
yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy, stop.
Oh my gosh.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it! Eat it, you fucking bully!
Jeremy, stop! They will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. We're nearly done. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care.
Just gonna censor it all.
Ask advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast in the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's all so fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried it.
I'm so good at this.
And now, well...
God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but
Oh,
this
no.
just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry. I've lost this fight.
No.
Alex, think of the consequences.
I've let you down.
Please, we can't show
All
this.
of
Cut
you.
to the ads.
My name's Jeremy
Now!
Donaldson.
Do it now!
If you can, somehow. And I envy you if you can. Have a peaceful night.
Jeremy!
No, not Jeremy Donaldson.
Finally, by working as a team, we have raised living standards and are the envy of an
Yikes.
increasingly jealous world.
A+? We love to see it, guys. A generous bonus. Current world holiday time. Like, I don't know what you guys want from me. Everyone wants something from me, alright? I can't satisfy everyone. A tape to remember. You wake up, still partly in shock from what you saw on the news last night. What you had to edit on the news last night. When you come downstairs, you find your family sat in the living room waiting for you. You take a seat on the sofa next to Sam. Sam swallows, hesitating before starting. We were so worried about you last night. After Jeremy with the gun, Sam chokes on a sob. It was awful. On national television? How could he do that? And now, after a horrible pause, Sam, are you okay, honey? Yeah, I'll be fine. Sam glances at Charlie, then back at you. We saw that you chose to play that tape before they paused before continuing. And I can't ponder why. I didn't feel like I had a choice. What? That's not good enough. Disrupt our bad people. I can't believe you did that. Charlie's outburst seems to be out of nowhere, and no one in the room is prepared for it. You didn't even think about how this stuff affects people. You're a fucking idiot. Sam tries to interject. Charlie. But he's already slammed the door. Charlie was always a bit black and white about this sort of thing. For what it's worth, Alex, I think you were impossible. You think in an impossible situation, and somehow you managed to make the right call. Sam throws their arms around you. Only you were stuck in that studio, having to make that choice. No one can criticize what you did, and I'm proud of you. You've never been so grateful to have Sam support you. You take a deep breath to gather your thoughts. It's a lot to take in. You're not sure you've fully processed what happened last night, let alone what Chris and Sam think about it all. You sigh and absently-mindedly and turn on the TV. It's nice you've got some company. The TV is playing through some old western show, but it's not as quite as distracting as you'd hope. You were never going to please everyone. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're getting to 65. A holiday update. Just as we're finishing up breakfast, Sam comes in with the post. Oh, we've got a postcard from Susie. I hope she's having fun on her trip. Sam reads it aloud as you finish getting ready for work. Apologies. So I've seen what feels like most of Urkistan. Really cool place, but so cold. Hope Chippy enjoyed the gift. And before you say anything, you're right to make me pack an extra pair of socks. Sam gives you a little small kick under the table. Next, we've got the train to Konoslava, much warmer, no loads of beaches to enjoy. I could have stayed there forever, but I had to head to San Palarmino before it got too cold. And I'm so glad we did. We've probably got 1 or 2 more stops before heading home, but I'll be back in time for Christmas. I promise. Hope everyone's doing well. Love, Susie, XXX. Sounds like it's been a hell of a trip. Worth every penny. Well, welcome back to the studio. Jeremy Donaldson's dead. Who's our new friend? Is it the guy who shit himself and fell to the ground? What's his name? Harold? I don't know. It better be. The 20-week war?
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here. Hope all's well with the family. Just a heads up, we're expecting those troublemakers at Disrupt to attempt to hack the channel during the broadcast. So keep an eye on the interference screen and stay out of the orange. Let's keep the news on the air. It's important, now more than ever.
Got it. Crazy Neil. War broadcast. Survival kit.
So, Julia's team have asked me to ask you to keep it light.
Well, what does that mean?
Means to do that thing you do where you turn politicians into humans. Just don't get drawn into talking about the war or politics in general.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
I'm guessing it's like the.
Hear this from me.
I don't know what it's called. I think like the laugh track bullshit. November.
Apparently, there's a crew at Team HQ right now.
I see something payday on the 25th.
Oh, great. So they get the brains and we get the performing monkey.
Sometimes you sound just like him, you know.
How are you?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I miss him too, you know.
10 seconds, everybody.
Rumpled old sod.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of Heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World
So how do
Council's
I
illegal blockade.
stop them from hacking me?
Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Proud parents throughout the territory find themselves ever more impressed by the bravery and commitment of their incredible children
I'm not seeing
and the
anything I
job
can
they're
do.
doing keeping supply lines open against all possible odds. Don't starve. Advance's
this
food
thing right here?
program moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. And judging by the looks on this happy family's faces, it can't come a moment too soon. They'll be getting a good meal tonight on the government, just like the rest of us. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community.
I'm guessing not to censor.
The transition centres
The
have reported
hacks.
larger than expected numbers, but report that they are coping well and able to provide a complete and meaningful service to all who choose to use it. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. It's up to the other 89% of us to remind our tardy friends that not taking advantage of all the exclusive services available to cardholders is now, as it should be, absolutely criminal. Start me up. Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern city of Mankipool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. A representative from the Mankipool Community Cohesion Team described the event as mostly peaceful, but it looks like Disrupt aren't going quietly into the night. And finally, absent friends. Sad news today as the grave of former National Nightly News host Jeremy Donaldson is vandalised by radical Disrupt activists. The much-loved broadcaster suffered a very tragic public breakdown 10 weeks ago in an incident which ultimately cost him his life. Disrupt spokesman Alan James, whose organisation last week named Mr. Donaldson as the cause's first martyr, described the graffiti as a fitting tribute to a hero of the resistance. But first tonight, with the war about to enter its 21st week, I'll be chatting with Peter Clement live in an exclusive team talk from his home in Lancashire. Don't go away. You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
I love that guy.
Later in the programme, I'm thrilled to say I'll be chatting with mega pop star Lil C, who's going to be treating us to a world premiere of her new single. And then after that, in part 3, we've got something new I promise you won't want to miss. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's coming to us through the magic of television all the way from his home in Lanfordshire. Are you receiving me, Prime Minister?
Loud and clear, Miss Wolf. Loud and clear.
Well, let's start with the obvious. What's that in your hand, Prime Minister?
Cheeky cow. Cheeky. It's true. 75 days without an alcoholic drink, and I've got to say, I'm beginning to feel the benefits.
It certainly looks that way.
That's the hack.
I made a promise to Mrs. C, and as my old man used to say...
A promise is worth keeping?
Something like that, only with assholes.
So, I've heard from my sources that you and the illustrious Mrs. C plan to take your winter break somewhere a little different this year.
That's right. We're planning a walking holiday right here in the territories, which is different for us because, like you, Megan, I've always been a big fan of those warm foreign beaches.
Did you make this decision because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, no, that's a good question. Well, as you know, while the blockade has effectively restricted the flow of goods into the country, we and our neighbours have continued to allow unimpeded travel for business leaders, ministers and such. So, although me and the missus could theoretically go to that gorgeous beach I just mentioned, it just doesn't smell much like team spirit to me. After all, as my old man used to say, when life gives you shite, make shite pie.
It works just as well with lemons and lemonade.
I suppose it does.
Prime Minister, maintaining a healthy body like yours at a time of national crisis must require some demanding planning. What's your regime and how do you go about it all?
Well, the truth be told, it's all down to Claude, my infinitely patient personal trainer. He's a man with a plan. I'm just the prat with the fat.
Well, on that very subject, how are you and Mrs. C handling living on rations?
Well, let me tell you, Megan, back in the 50s, when I worked for you backstage for your Patrick Brannan's dad, did you know I did that?
I think everyone knows that, Prime Minister.
Well, what you probably didn't know was that Graham Bannon was a right tightwad, paid the bare bloody minimum and still found every possible excuse he could to dock your pay even further. I remember he once docked me a whole fiver for having an unacceptably smelly lunchbox type bastard. Anyway, what I'm saying is back then I ate a lot less than I am now, even under rationing. We all did. And let's face it, there are still plenty of people in this country who could afford to lose a little bit of weight.
What are you implying? No, but seriously, Prime Minister, we know you're very busy, but one final question, if I may.
Oh, well, go on then.
When you get home from a long day, your head full of the territory's hopes and fears, what music do you listen to when you work out to take your mind off things?
Well, I know I've got a bit of a reputation for being an old fuddy-duddy, but I'd be lying if I didn't say there's something about Little C that just demands one's attention.
Well, let's hope you stay watching, Prime Minister, because she is going to be talking and performing live after the break.
Oh, I'll be watching. After all, as my old man used to say, everything's
I gotta pay
a treat
attention
on a
to that.
boring Friday with nothing but
I
the
gotta pay
wind
more
pushing.
attention to that.
It's Wednesday, Prime Minister.
I think the expression still stands.
Peter Clement, thank you for joining me.
And
But I think there's something kind of inspirational there. I know I feel safer. When we come back, Lil C is going to be giving us the debut performance of her new single, and I'll be getting to meet her. As her biggest fan, I don't mind telling you, I'm pretty excited. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
I played it way too short.
1 minute back. Gripping stuff.
Was that even news?
I think you forgot to ask him what his favourite number is.
Oh, I must have forgotten that in all the excitement.
So assuming it's not vodka, what do you think's actually in that milk? I reckon it's the tears of his enemies.
You are one disturbed
Pineapple on a
individual.
tree. Take 2 bulbs. Take 3. We don't care how many bulbs. Take a candle. Set fire to your Christmas tree. Set your fire to your life.
Creative, and we've got space.
desk. You'll need the new buttons during the next sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters, and before her song. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it when we get there.
We got crazy Christmas dancing hats. We got crazy Christmas dancing hats and jumpers. If you're feeling hungry, don't feel down in the mouth. You can have a dog on a log. And remember, a dog isn't for life. It's just for Christmas to eat. It's a
What?
crazy deal at Crazy Meals. We've got elves on trees. We've got trees on elves. If you
What? Trees on elves?
we've got elves on elves. Are ready for you to take home. We got naughty Christmas nativities with naughty
I love Crazy Neil.
we got crazy Christmas nut bums. We've got crazy Christmas big bums. It's the six Mrs. Crazy Neil used to say to me, bang, bang, bang. She had to go, but I still love Christmas. Christmas without her is not the same, but I don't care, because I'm insane. Come on down to Crazy Neil's for your
Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C!
Excellent work.
May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
What's the regime?
My manager suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
What?
Wow, is that healthy?
Oh, well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are.
What is with these people? Why are they so weird?
I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really, it was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, he may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
Uh-huh. So, this newfound explosion into your popularity...
Is in doubt.
Did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nicer underwear, you know, for the paparazzi, but as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So, what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again?
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yep, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out tomorrow.
So soon, after the last one?
Oh yeah, I've actually released 2 albums since lunchtime and a clothing line during this interview. See, this is called Cry for Help and it's going to be in all the best high street and retailer shops and it's out now. So girlies, you know what to do. Scream and cry until somebody gets it for you.
Ooh, there she goes. Blimey. All these projects, they're keeping you very busy, aren't they? It must be tough.
Yeah, it can get tough and I hate it sometimes and I hate myself. I just want to like cry into a bath of root veg. But then I think thousands of girls would do anything to be me, so I must be quite lucky.
Well, you know you don't have to do this though, don't you?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes. Most nights between like my 4th vodka and the 8th time a stranger slaps me around the arse. I think things could have been different, you know, like better. But I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I'd sit in front of the radio, and as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, I'd press record on my cassette. But then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud and you might just survive childbirth."
Well, you know what, despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. But you know what? It's actually all right. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
All right then. Well, you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a
I
little
swear to
bit.
God, I swear it's not gonna be though.
It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Oh, so here is Lil C with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
It's the Force's favorite, the queen of teams, here to break in your blockades, Lil C.
What is this shit?
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat you're packing, only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team in me, no dirty foreign member. Don't stop your morning drill, there's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no vicar's daughter, come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pour me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream. We fight.
What do you guys think?
So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy? I wanna see some action. So come and break my sanctions.
What did Peter Clement do to use you like that? He was not even that good.
I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, these babies gonna bring you home. I ain't no vicar's daughter, come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pour me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy and flip me over, grab my hair, rip off my clothes and dump them there. I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
I'm trying hard. Okay, sorry.
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will. I'd like to thank Lil C for doing that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
Can I just say, thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours, won't you?
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, for the public to have that certain perspective on me. You know what it's like.
Oh, right.
And Michael? Michael?
What about Billy Bob Jeanshaw? Is he?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together.
Wow.
And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the
As a
Louvre guys.
team, we have built
I'm going to start needing it.
A+ again.
Next section will need you to use all 4 of the sound effects to help things along. Try and pick the most appropriate one at each given moment. The actors can't hear what you're doing, so they'll be trusting you to make the right choices.
12, as it said in your rider.
Do I look like the sort of person who counts things? No, no, no. Not
It's this
anymore.
person again.
Better than that now.
Ah.
What? Just keep adding flowers until it feels like 12. Got it?
I already miss Jeremy Donaldson, guys. I already miss him.
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show, we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent, and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director, and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePlume now. How'd you like that?
Well, yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this?
Who?
Your wife.
Oh, God, no. No. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom, and I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking. Wow. Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
Excellent, you're a natural. Keep it up.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts. They've vandalised my shop again.
No!
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
I'm just worried they won't ever
I'm trying,
become
guys.
productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock. See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right. Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers? Hey?
Oh, no. It's Brad. He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Rad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What did you say? Tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalised my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
It probably
No
was
way.
him.
It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck? Give us a hug.
Uh-oh. Earthquake? Hey, look at that. Look at this. I can finally see the stuff outside my window fully. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Guys? This doesn't seem too good. Oh.
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we are receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we are picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be
An earthquake? Invasion?
what appear to be
Nuclear.
explosions in 4 major foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into
Millions.
they put them into millions.
I saw that in the intro.
I'm being told we're experiencing some power shortages as a result, so apologies for the interruption. And apparently we can go live now to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury any moment. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world. Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent. We have similar devices in 58 other urban centres and will not hesitate to detonate them,
We are hearing stories of power fluctuations and what could be minor earthquakes throughout the continent. Stand by. We've lost contact with our benefactors in Urkistan and Konoslava. All our equipment seems to be resetting. Can we get this confirmed? Can we get this verified? I need this verified.
Our borders. Your people are our people. They will finally be fed and clothed and educated and healed. But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them. Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices. You will not find them, though no doubt you are already searching for them. Our technology is decades ahead of yours. We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you.
I don't really talk about my personal life in my job. It's not relevant or important. So many of you may be surprised to learn that I have a brother. His name is David.
Can I click on that abstract on that one?
I can't get his stupid face out of my head. He's a researcher and he's currently travelling the continent for work. And I don't know where he is right now. And I should imagine that there are many of you sitting at home tonight digesting this news, and you also have loved ones on the continent. In Urkistan, or Havia, or San Palmerino, or Konoslava, which is where David was when I last spoke to him 3 days ago. So when I tell you I know how you are feeling tonight, believe me, I do. But I also know that there's a flow to events. I see it every day here.
I had to see what
I
Alan
know
James
that
was up
although
about.
Tonight it feels like we may be in a time of fear and darkness. We may actually be at the break of a new dawn. We don't know that yet. We can't know that yet. But together we will find out. And I will be here every night, feeling what you are feeling. And with your help, maybe we can all get to that brave new world. My name's Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
And we're out. We've got people ringing around, but the telephone networks are overloaded.
Okay.
We'll find him.
Do we know exactly which cities were hit, or?
Megan. We will find him.
All right, that's 3 A+ in a row. Guys, I'm a natural. A generous bonus. Well off? What am I now? Starting to get rich. 1 second. All right, I'm back, sorry. Let's see what they had to say, though. I didn't really get to see all of it.
We are hearing stories of power fluctuations and what could be minor earthquakes throughout the continent. Stand by.
Sorry, what?
We've lost contact with our benefactors in Urkistan and Konoslava. While our equipment seems to be resetting and... Can we get this confirmed? Can we get this verified? I need this verified. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know if you are receiving this, but if you are, then you have to know. You have to know what's being done. What's being done right now to our neighbours. This is unprecedented. Our government has committed multiple acts of mass destruction in our name.
Not good.
Nor do I care how you voted. You didn't vote for this. None of us did. news and oh god. What if they respond?
Alright, well, I think I'm gonna go with the resistance on the next one. See what they had to do. The loading tip guy is off today, so there isn't one. I'm missing something. Oh my gosh. I know what it is. I don't really need it though. A proportionate response. The rest of your shift is a blur, with the same words going around your head. Operators are working for advanced detonated nuclear explosives, yet initial estimates put the death toll in the millions. This really just happened? You pull in the drive with no memory of your journey home. The light in the front room is clearly on. Clearly someone is still awake. The door creaks into the living room. You find Sam sitting on the sofa staring at TV. The screen is off. They're clearly lost in thought. You take a seat beside them and reassuring their hand on their shoulder. They don't look at you, but they do reach up and take your hand in theirs. Now you're closer, you can see that tears flowing down freely on Sam's face. Our little girl. I know. I don't know what to do. What the hell can we do? The bastards killed Susie and millions of our others. All because of their fucking war, which we never asked for. Behind the tears you see a fire. Raw fury you've never seen in Sam before. I hate them, Alex. I know you've always supported Advance, but after this they're monsters. I need you to know and understand that we're not going to help them anymore. Ooh, these are all good answers. Not this one, though. Alex, you can't be serious. Advance across the line and we can't let it stand anymore. Sam takes both your hands and looks at theirs, tension clear in the voice. This isn't a situation where you could pick the middle ground. Advance killed our daughter, Alex. I will never, ever forgive them for that. And if you can, you're right. Relief spreads over Sam's face like a wave, and they collapse against yours, clutching tightly. Clearly, this was weighing heavily on them. You're not sure if you've even processed it fully yet, but at least you'll get through it together. I need to get back in the studio. I got some propaganda to spread. The last week has passed in a blur. The rush of things to do, but all immediately forgotten. Memory clouded like a dark fog. 9 days since the so-called Liberation Night and the beginning of Advanced New Future. You weren't the first ones at church today. You were staggered by the number of people who came to mourn with you. Everyone's here for the same reason, sharing the same pain, the same sense of loss all written over their faces, much as it would be on yours. You step away from everyone else, needing the space to gather your thoughts. Your daughter, poor little Susie, gone. Sam has said little since that evening, since they're still getting over the shock. But then you walk over and squeeze her hand. You squeeze back tightly. You'll get through this together. You can only imagine how awful it would be with his face alone. There wasn't even have a coffin to bury. I don't know what. Holy shit. We just passed like 400 days. It's a seemingly ordinary morning, but as you get into work, you find a small crowd gathered in a break room. When you go in to grab your first cup of tea, you can't but overhear the some excited chatter. You didn't hear? Yeah, another one's gone missing. What's that bring up to the total now? Oh, I think it should be over 100 at this point. They all haven't been reported or noticed yet. Sorry, what's going on? An excited young man turns to you, begins to explain. Another professor went missing from the Queensview University with all other disappearances over the last year. Scientists, doctors, researchers. She pauses before lowering her voice to a whisper. It's clearly disrupt targeting the people seeking out against them. I even heard Advance are struggling to prevent further. A deep familiar voice behind you interrupts. What is exactly going on over here? A silence overtakes the room as you all turn in unison towards the doorway. Bozeman clears his voice, continuing. I told you before, I don't want to hear about these so-called disappearances. Come on now, people. Advance have been very clear they have nothing to worry about, which means they're not our problem. Unless they start classing cappuccinos as intellectual, I don't think anyone here has anything to worry about. Best get back to work. Bozeman holds up a hand to keep you as everyone else files out the room. Look, between you and me, this is a leave it alone. Malarkey comes from on a high. It's out of my hands. So I'd appreciate it if you would refrain from talking about it further. And make sure the news is in line with that school of thought. Or yes? He gives you a pat on the arm and a smile before leaving to carry on with whatever it is he's doing with the workday. 1 second, sorry. It seems that for the better or worse, public ownership is in full swing. Oh my god, dude, we're just scrolling through the days like it's nothing. You drum your fingers over on the steering wheel patiently as you wait for Charlie again. It's great he's enjoying the cohesion cadets and it's so enthusiastic, but does he really need to stay behind every week to help? It's your Saturday evening too, after all. Finally, you see him exit the hall and a grin on his face. You can't help but smile back. The frustration starting to fade as you see him so genuinely happy. After hugging his friends goodbye, Charlie heads over to the car and gets in, his face flushed with excitement. So how was your interrupted as he can't contain himself longer? Guess what? So obviously the Cohesion Cadets is starting a point for becoming a CCO, so we get a head start when applying for that, Charlie gusses, clearly keen on explaining his news, almost tripping over the words in an effort to tell you. Well, apparently from the next year, the top 5% of cadets will be taking a special program to become CCMs, Community Cohesion Managers, and guess who's going to be in it? That's great news, Charlie. We're also proud of you. I see. What do these CCMs do? Well, basically, they need a new license team between regular people and CCOs. The Betterment Department, and that'll be us. People come to us with concerns, and we'll decide whatever they need referrals, and if so, to which department. Cool, right? Sounds great. So they could be helping people report on their friends or neighbors? Well, yeah, I guess. But only the bad people. It's about helping the community, making it safer for everyone. Charlie frowns at you. You don't like the CCOs? Or the betterment teams? No, it's not that. Forget about it. Well done, Brad. I'm proud of you. Okay, cool. I can't wait to tell everyone else. Charlie sits back in his seat, smiling again, but less enthusiastically than before. Is this really a good thing for him to be doing anymore? Didn't think the CCOs was really that good during the Jeremy Donaldson freak out. What the fuck? You're surprised to find Sam in bed next to you when you wake up. They must have gotten very late last night from drinks with the Fulcrum school. You decide to let them sleep and enjoy a lazy Sunday morning. With the house quiet, you decide to bring some breakfast into the living room and watch some TV while you eat. This is breaking news. Reporting are coming from across the country that large swaths of farmland went in flames last night. Parts with authorities called a heinous and well-planned act of terrorism known as Disrupt. You drop your spoon back in the porridge and turn up the volume. In addition to food stores, which government sources have said will put a strain on universal menu centers countrywide, a number of CCO and civic buildings were targeted in last night's attack. According to Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, specific prisons and re-education and betterment facilities were raided. And a small selection of problematic and potentially dangerous individuals were fortunately extracted from lawful custody. You hold your breath, waiting to hear if anyone got hurt. Fortunately, the CCOs were well prepared for an event like this, and the disrupt appeared to be disorganized in comparison. While there were limited numbers of fatalities, these were entirely compromised of disrupt terrorists, with only 3 CCOs reported injured in various conflicts across the country. A significant amount of disrupt activists were arrested and incarcerated and awaiting transferment to a betterment center. More in this story develops. You go to turn off the TV. You're interrupted by Charlie walking into the living room, blurrily eye with a piece of toast. Anything interesting goes on? You just watch the TV. Mutely, you leave the news on to cycle through the story again. Charlie watches in a harsh silence. By the end of the broadcast, are dumping of the night of the fire. I hope so. Everyone's gonna be okay. We're almost at a day 1,000. Oh, we got to play the game. How do I get that one in the one in the middle? The one where he gets so angry? I didn't get that one ever. That was the one with the comedy show, I think.
Alex, this is Alan James.
Hi.
The revolution starts tonight, Alex, and to be frank, we need your help.
Alright.
I've never been that sympathetic to our cause, but since the bombs, well, you've seen what happened. They have to be stopped, Alex. You know it in your heart, and tonight, well, it might be our very last chance. Play our tape at the second break. It's on your right.
Got it.
Please, when I hack in, let my message reach the people just once, just tonight, before advance can't be stopped.
Because I don't want to go on a date with your cousin, Colin.
What?
have you got to lose?
My dignity, my reputation.
It's all right once you get past the teeth and the problematic tattoo.
I am perfectly capable of messing up my own love life.
Sorry about that. David wouldn't get off the phone.
Oh, is David single?
For Christ's sake, Colin, stay out of it.
I can help you. I'm an expert at romance. Ask my ex-wives.
Please don't.
Ex-wives.
Brother. That's 10 seconds, everybody.
You're not as tight, babe.
Too short?
Too smart.
Going in 5.
I trust you, Alex James.
3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News, broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolfe. Our top stories tonight. Ashes to ashes. It's been 40 days since Disrupt conducted attacks across the territories. The coordinated action, dubbed the Night of Fire by commentators, was seen as an attempt to subvert the supply chain, but there may have been more to it. While emergency services were all kept busy at the agricultural centres, it seems a series of covert attacks was carried out, including the freeing of political prisoners and, sources say, several assassination attempts. The Department of Betterment have declined to comment. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future. What started as rationing during the 20-week war has blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unawakened world. Promising a healthy, nutritious diet designed to keep all citizens at peak performance, the menu centres used locally sourced produce for that farm-to-plate experience, without the need for spreading manure.
Where are you at, Alex James?
Happy talk. Record happiness levels have been reported today across the territories. As more and more former countries join the new future, a survey carried out by scientists at Queensview University reveals a stunning fall in depression, self-harm and suicides, especially in those territories which have historically faced the most unjust of indivisions.
I don't like this graph I'm playing.
According to the professors, the binominal trajectories of the Bezier distribution show signs of becoming both inverted and protracted when dispersed over the square root of time. By applying Harrington's third law in conjunction with the vowels variation, we can clearly see that things are looking mathematically good for Julia Salisbury and Advance. Something's coming. Unsubstantiated rumours here in Territory 1 of armed protests tonight by increasingly desperate Disrupt terrorists. Despite the best efforts by the government, the self-styled resistance movement has continued to carry out a series of ever
Alan
more
James, you're getting the respectful photo.
When asked about Disrupt's future plans, inexplicably popular spokesman Alan James answered, "You won't have to wait long to find out." Thanks, Alan. Opaque as always. And endings of sorts.
Yeah, you won't have to wait long. It's gonna be tonight.
We've been reporting on. First tonight, Stroke My Head and Call Me Bishop. Although responsibility proved a commercial failure, mainly due to men's
They look at the exact same thing as I'm gonna play.
an unforeseen side effect of the drug has seen it relaunched today as Goldilocks. Promising an end to male pattern baldness, the launch has follically challenged men celebrating throughout the territories. Frank Slapbegone, pictured here just 1 hour after taking the rebranded medication, enthused that his wife, and I quote, "will sleep better now that the reading light isn't bouncing off my head and keeping her awake." Nerdpocalypse. It seems the story of the stranded scientists of
No.
Dungeons came to an end today with the final chapter written in blood. There don't seem to be any survivors in the remote cave system after a violent conflict broke out about the correct syntax of a binomial equation. Abandoned by their colleagues on the surface, denied supplies by a world which moved on without them, we have to ask ourselves who's to blame for this crisis? And where did they get those swords from?
That's true. Why are they in each other? How did they all die?
That had the whole territory talking. Everyone's favourite nudists, Johnny Hamsleeves and Tiffany Lamore, have launched an informal...
Why are you giving me this city like it's not the same fucking thing?
Wonder of Coitus. The Edurotic Handbook is the newest product in their body positivity range that includes a graphic novel about foreplay called Give It a Minute and their #1 single, Peace Anthem for Jilted Butt Plugs.
What?
All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Dangley Parks for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming
Patrick
up on
Bannon!
Nothing
Patrick
Much.
Bannon!
The territories. Today is the day we take back control. Soon it will be time for you to help us again. Come out of your houses, block the traffic, bring the capital to a standstill. I've met so many of you in my travels up and down Territory 1. You always ask the same question. How can I help? Well, this is how. And as for when, you'll know. Keep watching.
But first, 500 days after the loss of a fine leader and a great man, the start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement. Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park.
Peter Clement's dad?
Will be breaking ground on what will soon be a memorial garden in Peter's honour. Patrick.
Listening to that old bitch lying through her teeth about missing that poor bastard.
Patrick.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're live.
Because I'm not being funny. Things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick.
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held her back. But now there's no stopping her.
Hello, Patrick. We're
Of
live.
course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No, not with public ownership. No, with public ownership, you can't say anything these days. She's lost it, mate. She's completely off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan, you join me here live from the what? Hello, Megan, you join me here live from the what?
Seems like we've lost some signal there for a moment. Well, we will be going live to that groundbreaking ceremony just as soon as we can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say, I think the memorial gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs and Alana Marsh has done a fabulous job. Oh, okay, all right, it seems like we have got the signal back. We can now go live to Patrick Bannon in Parliament Park. Patrick.
Thank you, Megan.
That's not Patrick Bannon.
Patrick Bannon, and we are indeed.
You are not Patrick Bannon.
Here. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but any moment now, Julia Salisbury will step out on stage behind me.
Alex, Bozeman here. The boys in editing have just informed me that the eulogy footage isn't fully cut together yet. You're going to have to do it on the fly. For goodness sake, make sure you make it look good.
Slowly gathering since this afternoon.
This is Alan. You can undermine them here and help us win hearts and minds. Make him look bad, Alex. Really bad.
Got it.
And it seems like the ceremony is getting underway. Here is Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, the picture of elegance, to begin her address.
Good evening, fellow teammates and friends. 500 days ago, all of our lives changed.
You ain't got shit on me.
Still reeling from the triumphs and tribulations.
Wait, I can do whatever I want.
Another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories. The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Peter's death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by the team on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation Night.
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham, Peter first trained as a carpenter before getting his start on television. First moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens over 25 years ago, running for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
Peter taught us, all of us, not to be content with the way things are, not to accept inequities, no matter how small. But he also taught us what it took to fight them. Courage, integrity, empathy, and hard, bloody graft.
Across a career spanning 3 decades, Peter Clement was known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late night chat show Petey, which at its peak drew millions of viewers.
Peter was by no means a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But it speaks to the strength of his character that he chose to share with us his mistakes alongside his achievements, his faults as well as his talents. Peter had the heart to give it all he had for the people of these United Territories.
Famous for his potty mouth, it's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by illness as he was in the weeks and months leading up to Liberation Night, he wasn't the man we loved. But his eyes still twinkled with that familiar joy for life, that spark of wit and wisdom of a life lived for others.
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died from apparent liver failure after suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago. Moments before I was supposed to give a speech. Not unlike this one, actually. Only I'd spilt coffee all down myself. And I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked. And from behind me, I heard, "Christ, pet, you've either pissed your kecks or sprung a leak, but either way, you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he stripped off his dry trousers and insisted I took them. That was the sort of man that Peter Clement was. Kind, compassionate, sensitive, a brilliant thinker, a natural leader, but mostly a good man. This glorious nation of ours, so beautiful and new, this shining beacon of
Thank you, Alex. There'll be another opportunity to steer public perception soon.
Got it.
It's really starting. You'll know when.
Despite his accomplishments, the future he forged, the boundaries he pushed, to me, he'll always be the man in his pants cheering on a stranger at the back of the conference.
Fine, I'll switch the fucking feed.
It is my great honor to give to you the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Should we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Now, Alex, control the message.
I'm not leaving, I can't!
Oi!
You two, come with me! Don't panic!
You're hurting me?
You're gonna be okay. Okay, you two stay with him.
Mum, we have to stay by your side.
I am the Prime Minister, and if I give you...
Turn the camera off. National Night News. We have the right to be here. I said turn the fucking camera off. Who the fuck are you?
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't.
I've got you. I've got you. Just stay with me. No, stay with me. I need help now!
Where is my goat? Forget his name already.
Julius Goldsbury! You were guilty of the murder of more than 10 million people! Justice demands a response!
Haven't you done enough? Look around you. This is what your precious freedom looks like, is it? Hold your fire!
Territory 1, rise up! Take to the
What in the actual fuck?
Lower your weapons! I said, lower your weapons now! Centigrade authorization was granted.
Kill them. See what happens.
Please, sir. I said, please turn that off. Please turn that off.
Shocking scene to me.
Is this not enough? You've just seen them execute unarmed civilians. People like you and me. So why are you watching this? Why are you not in the streets with us tonight? What will it take for you to get up and be a part of this? March on team headquarters. Storm the building. Demand elections. Demand answers. Be what you were born to be. The once and future free.
Go away. We'll be back after this.
That didn't go so well, Alex.
If everyone's safe,
But we can turn it around in the next segment.
The bomb was a good distance from the unit base.
This is becoming a weekly event.
No, it's different tonight. This is the big one.
Great. There's a revolution happening outside and we're off to Dandy fucking Park.
Journalism, apparently. We get set for the next scene.
Mr. Neil, come in and tell them about our thrones. Mr. Neil got big thrones. Big thrones for big butts. Here, have some money. And the more you spend, the more you save. The bigger thrones, mansion thrones. Thrones you can throw at stones. Stones as big as thrones. What do we got? Thrones. We got tons of thrones. We put them thrones in your hallway. Damn. You got thrones. I need a Mr. Neil throne. This game is great. I'm gonna say it. This game is really good.
Alex, during this next section, a cameraman working in the newsroom who's one of us is going to get a coded location out. We don't know yet which camera he's on, but if we find out, I'll let you know.
Got it.
Just keep your eyes out for the fist and try and keep it on the air for at least 5 seconds. Our operatives will do the rest.
Got it.
Again, this is your new makeup
Guessing
artist,
it's number
Craig.
1.
No. What?
No.
10 seconds, everybody. Sorry, Craig. No. Okay, we are going in 5, 4.
Gold!
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolf. Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful feature, the notice board. But before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radin. Tell me, why do you think the public love the notice board so much?
It's real. There, I said it. It connects with people. You know, people look at us and they say, those are real people struggling with real problems.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out the limo, I was saying, it's good for people to see normal, authentic people like them on TV.
People like you.
Yeah, precisely. Unfortunately, then I was interrupted by some dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but a swift kicking from security soon put him back in line.
Yes, well, I think it's really good that our screens are filled with such relatable stories. So, the notice board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful?
Cement.
It's a combination of so many things.
What's with cement?
My hard work, my talent, my look.
Wow, you really have a lot to thank you for.
Hey. You're welcome.
We've just heard our man's on camera 4.
I have a real sense of responsibility now. You know, a sense I've been entrusted with something precious and that I should use that platform for good.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
What the fuck is going outside?
Platform to do good in the world, I agree.
That's exactly it. So I've decided to help as many underprivileged children as I can.
You blew that one, Alex. You there. See if you can get a message to...
Better access to education or, reducing child poverty.
Oh, no, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
You want me to switch for 5 seconds for what? Is she a photo?
Oh, we're well into the double figures now, Megan. I stopped counting in the late 30s.
Goodness, that is a lot of children.
Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard.
Oh, you really are some sort of hero.
Hey,
There's so many
I live
gunfire
a
going on right now.
privileged life. What can I say? I mean, any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering.
poor children, were their lives really that bad before?
Oh, they're Northerns, I presume so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shocking to think actually that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
I'd never thought of it that way before.
And I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers.
What do you think it is about your life that's so desirable then?
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed
God,
with
what is
expensive
going on
bottled water.
outside?
So, actually, if anyone wants to, I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radin sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees, but that's enough from me. Let's go now over to Dangly Parts for the final ever episode of the Notice Board.
What a day! First the tea morning, and now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to cope with it all. Oh wait, perhaps I do. Oh! By St. Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
Oh, Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at record lows.
Of course. Keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know! It's a disgrace. Somebody has
We've managed to get the location code out through back channels. All you need to do is give them the go code. Give them 3 boos in a row for the next 3 cues. 3 boos, Alex.
Careful, Vicar. It looks heavy.
Got it.
Ha! They don't call me the Right Reverend. Ripped for no reason.
Yes!
It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifix classes were a waste of time.
Perhaps you, a young CCO, would be able to use it.
2 for 2. Fantastic.
Come on, Alec. Alan James, give me it. Alan James, I need you.
Looks like all those lifting classes were a waste of time.
It's too
No!
Even for me, a strong and capable
Let's hope that's enough. At least you tried, Alex.
strong enough to lift.
I'm so stupid. I was an autopilot.
Call for the best firefighter in town. Hi-ya!
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
All right, well.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately not. The ferrets struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single stamp had been pre-licked.
My God! Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry, we won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his sneaky nature. But really it's because whenever he strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer. We'll catch this pissy nuisance and save the village fete. Or my name's not Captain Danger Evans. The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
It's the morning of the village fete, thanks to theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
And look, there's the motorcycle display team setting up for a show that will be far too expensive for live television.
I'm going to set up the coconut shy. What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running the tombola. Then, I'll be selling forgiveness for money.
Aren't you judging the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Well, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked all the jam out of her donuts.
That damn ferret has struck again!
Whatever are we to do?
Although I'm very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just have to cancel the fate.
Hold it right there, ferret.
Me? Have you been drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Not you, the vicar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
Oh,
I
that's a big
already
deal.
have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's tongue was particularly dry, almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating Mrs. Craven's baking.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room for jam.
Almost as if he'd had his fill.
Precisely.
But you managed to figure it all out from that?
Well, I also found this at the scene.
That proves nothing. No!
Get him out of here, officer!
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. I am doing well.
Thanks to you, we're all doing well.
That was it, the final ever episode of the Notice Board, and what a way to end it. Thank you as always to Jeff, Philippa and Tommy. After the break, we'll be both dancing and learning, so don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
That's the ads. Well done, everybody.
Wow! What a brilliant run, eh? After party.
What advert is this, Alex? I don't remember passing it for broadcast. I think you made a mistake there.
I'm an economist and commentator.
I've got 4 kinds of
You've probably
sausage.
seen me on the news talking about Advance and how progressive their policies are. Well, I was wrong. And I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry.
I'm not going to lie to you, Alex. It looks bad. I thought the public would come out. The baby behind us. Stop. Can't give up now. One last request, Alex. If you
Okay.
could. One of the next guests is with us. When we get asked, censor her for us, and the final orders will go out. You'll get 3 chances. Please, if there's any humanity left in you, get it right at least twice. There's so many.
Punished. I didn't see how backwards Advance were. I didn't understand that rather than tearing down the wealth creators, we should have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table. Under Advance, the country is poorer. It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration. We are infantilized by Advance's naive policies.
Please, Sarah.
Policies born from
Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
absurd, redistributive fantasies.
Jenny just said to ask if you need any touch-up.
I have whored myself out to the media to defend
That's
the
my shade, is it?
indefensible.
Yeah, this is
I
my
have
shade.
betrayed my parents. I see that now. Mum, Dad,
I'm gonna run back to
I'm
Jenny.
sorry. Our only hope,
Sorry about that, Sarah.
the only hope,
At all. They said no one's
now
died, that's all I can
lies
say.
10
with
seconds.
Disrupt.
wrong with you?
She is in tears.
Ugh.
Going in 5, 4.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later in this segment, we're hoping to be able to go back to shocking disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking with the cast in a moment, but first, let's take a look at them in action. Please give a warm National Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid and fulfilling. I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long. And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling. We share coffee in the morning and we make
What does he even do?
every day. We take time alone together to talk and laugh and play. We prioritize our needs. We do charitable deeds. But the flowers of a happy life are now beset by weeds.
I'm home.
Oh, darling John.
Oh, dearest John.
There's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor, David Wants, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated. The scans revealed a lump.
You poor unlucky chump. Is it cancer?
Worse, oh, John. We're having a baby.
How can this be?
Oh, woe is me.
Why
12
does this
minutes.
happen to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of
Safety in our tiny flat. We built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives are fucked. We're having a baby. Now you can't have any wine at the club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of weed.
And you'll start to disagree.
And forget about that holiday in Territory 3.
No more waking up at 10:30. In fact, you're never going to get a good night's sleep again.
No more snap decisions to go on to a club. You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian jobs?
The only glue they have to deal with comes from personal bums.
Now when I take a sick day at home,
The parasite won't leave you alone.
how he's grown.
We're our top priority.
I look after you, and you look after me. Ain't no trouble and strife. We got a childless life. No one wails and no one bawls. No one draws things on the walls.
A happy husband.
A wonderful wife. We got a childless life.
We're having a baby.
We're having a baby. Changing nappies daily. We're having a baby. No more weekends by the coast. Now your kid is uppermost. It's more than a passing craze to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
Food and drink thrown everywhere. Death trap toys at the top of the stairs. Every parent prays to have a childless babies.
We're having a baby.
No more spas and no more we're having a baby. 18 years on bills at least.
It looks so bad, but it's for the beat. I don't know what it does, but I like it.
One more thing before the show begins. Have you considered that you might be having twins?
4.
amazing. The Novaries there, treating us to their opening number from Elegy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the Capital Theatre District. And we'll be touring the territories later this year.
Right then, come on you lot, come on down, let's go.
I'm guessing this is the group? Yeah.
Hi, Megan. Hi. It's an honour to be here. Oh, really? Are you fans of the show? Yes, used to be.
Same group, actually.
Well, listen, let's get stuck in. Your amazing musical. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single night,
With matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributed their ideas, and then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's fantastic. How rude of me. I've not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt. Pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boreham Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Sapley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all friends previously. I mean, what a coincidence, right? With your names beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys! Our names all begin with J.
How have we never noticed that?
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times, maybe?
You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it.
And I believe as well as being friends, you're also couples. In real life as well as in the show.
Well, not exactly.
I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm with John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack, Jen Janet, Jill Jen, Janet Jill.
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Man 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not for a professional.
After much toing and froing.
And gnashing and wailing.
And gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
We're also less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh, God, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Mimbley Village Hall, but when I registered it with the Department for Culture, it caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
So peaceful, no singing.
This piece isn't.
Stand by, Alex. Censor the orange.
It's about children and why you shouldn't have them.
In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit, and eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout, and we target the messaging at women aged 22, well, about 35, as they're the most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem.
Terrible problem.
Having children.
Well, you understand, Megan.
You clearly agree.
This isn't about me.
Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch
Fuck
as the
off.
little parasites advance on their lives, and there's no time to play the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted, passed out on the couch by 20 to 9, for God's sake.
You're very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the chatty one. Because
you're the youngest, we know. It's not a badge of honour, Janet.
Janet, please, Jennifer. Oh, well said, John. Thanks, Janet. Got you back.
So could you just tell us what is the play about? What happens in it?
Well,
go ahead.
It's a tragedy, obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
And there's lots of singing.
And dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. I
probably said too much already.
Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might come to see it.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a life without children is somehow incomplete. That
Oh, we told me to censor the orange. They've been censoring the orange.
well, I've done the research, and they're not. Besides, there's already loads of bastards running around all over the place. So.
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma. You know, when I was 14, before I
Patrick
had
Bannon.
come out,
Patrick Bannon,
I had
please.
experience with a girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment.
That's not Patrick
You know,
Bannon.
a chance to dip my toes into the.
Fascinating. Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I really hope you keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The Noble Fair. And I am pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to get the latest from the scene of tonight's horrific events. Patrick, are you okay?
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's devastating and symbolic attack tonight this evening. An attack which I myself have found myself caught up in. I'm still a little dazed and a little deaf, Megan. So I hope you'll forgive me if I seem that it's time to speak with the Prime Minister. Mrs. Salisbury, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
I couldn't leave, not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades. Or lemonade. Right. So, is the situation now, are we safe?
Yes, the security services performed their duties without hesitation, and I would like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no civilian deaths here this evening.
Oh, that's good news about the Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right, no civilian deaths. Just the 4 disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement, who were, as always, so cohesive. If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Of course, the camera, speak there, on the camera there.
Stay at home tonight. Do not become another casualty of war. Disrupt have had their moment, but as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for those strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in the
Holy
studio,
shit, I can see
Megan
smoke
Wolf.
now. Holy fuck.
Patrick Bannon there, bravely reporting from the front line of tonight's horrifying bombing. Maybe you need to get checked out, Patrick. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's National Night News. But before we go, National Night News.
Victory is in sight, my friends. You have mobilized. You have come together.
Yes.
From our agents at the television networks risking arrest and getting those words to you, to the many hundreds and thousands gathering to invade team headquarters. As I speak, we are turning the tide, and it is time for change. Tonight we topple their regime, and we also silence their mouthpiece, Channel 1. Time to wake up.
Out from the shadows, and they are not the overwhelming force they would have you believe. The military
It's time to
has been
wake.
actioned, and well, it's pretty scary out there tonight. So stay at home and stay with Channel 1, because the team has assured the
Jesus
viewers
Christ!
that the turbulence will soon be over, and we can once again focus our minds on building the new future with equality, fairness, and resilience for all. My name is Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better. And we're out. I think I threw up a bit in my mouth just then. Surprised that there's any.
Damn it, Alex. Tonight is the beginning of the fall of advance.
Yes.
Fighter jet, 11 o'clock.
Oh my goodness. Holy fuck!
Charges reached, sir. Permission to detonate. Permission granted, old friend. We are going to detonate. Look out your window, Alex. See what you helped make happen.
I'm looking. Not my radio tower! You prick! What the fuck? Jesus Christ! Alan, no! Alan? Alan? Alan James? Small bonus. Change that shit! Give me rich! Make me rich! Yeah! Make me money! Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. I don't want to set the world on fire. What's going on right now? You arrived to work a little early, despite a stressful journey in. You weren't quite sure of everything that happened, though if a swarm of CCOs all over the building is anything to go by, this isn't on Channel 1 matter. This is confirmed. You were informed to speak with Bozeman immediately and was escorted to his office. You sat nervously outside, waiting for your boss. A few minutes later, the bossman arrived, disheveled and stern-looking CCO in tone. Ah, yes, Winston, good. This is Specialist Abels. She'll be observing the interview. Please come inside and take a seat. A ruddy-faced man, bustle in his office, leaves the door open for you to follow. The few times you've been here before, it was immaculate, with everything in its proper place. Not so today. It must be serious for Bozeman to be this flustered. So, Alex, do you know why you're here today? Bozeman's eyes are sharp, his gaze fixed on your face from across the desk. Abels is standing behind you, out of sight, but definitely not out of mind. I assume this has to do with Disrupt last night? What happened last night was nothing short of a accumulation of a heinous and outrageous campaign of terror. The Disrupt have been reaping on this nation and its territories. Bozeman shoots a glance behind you to your left. Where is your CCO observer standing? And it is, of course, our duty is to root out this rot, where we find it, to prevent anything like this happening ever again. I have been asked by advance to perform interviews with all staff members involved, and will be submitting a personal review of your performance both during the incident in question throughout your time. He shoots you a quick smile. Don't worry, it'll be all fine. Writing some papers, Bozeman clears his throat out and begins. Obviously, a lot happened last night, and I have a number of interviews to conduct today, so that there are none of them taken out longer than necessary. Please be brief, concise, and clear in your interviews. So let's start. At the beginning of the broadcast, let's work through. At the attack at the memorial, it seemed to portray the terrorist quite sympathetic light. I show what's happening, the news. That's our job, right? Yes, of course. Everything in flux. You weren't able to know what would happen next. I'm certain you did the best you could, Alex. You always do. Bozeman scribbles some notes down. The noise of his pen scratches into the notepad, punctuated only by the constant tick-tack of his ornate clock. Hopefully this will all be over soon. Towards the end of the show, there appeared to be some issues with the censor equipment. At this point, Bozeman pauses for a moment, putting a lid on his pen and placing it carefully in the desk, perpendicular to his notebook. How do you explain the censored, perfectly acceptable language during the final segment? I just do what the display tells me. I don't decide what's supposed to be censored. I suppose it's certainly possible the machine could have malfunctioned. Much more than likely to the malfunctioning of such a competent employee. We'll make sure to have maintenance look at it right away. With the price we paid, I expect it to last another 20 years, just like the last one, Bozeman chuckles. How many questions will you have to answer? At this point, Bozeman took out a pair of glasses and placed them somewhat directly on the end of his nose. The portly man leaned forward to examine his nose in detail. Now, obviously, we expect the odd bit of interference here. They're unavoidable. However, he paused, tuning the page at an agonizing pace. Interference is not the same as terrorist propaganda. Would you care to explain how quite so much of their messaging found its way on our airwaves? The machine's been out of date for years. Even the last update couldn't make life any easier. Out of the corner of your eye, your specialist Abels is visibly attentive, waiting for your boss's response. Well, it's certainly true that the accidents happened with any various stresses our last night's broadcast. I don't think anyone could have begrudged you slight drop in attention. Bozeman smiles warmly at Abel's returns in passive stance. You offer a strange smile back. A loud creak breaks the growing silence as Bozeman leans back in his chair. The tape of that poor Miss Brightman. Why'd you play it? Help me understand. Why'd you play that tape? I was worried what disrupt might have done if I didn't play it. You watch as Bozeman slowly cleans his glasses before answering. Well, at the end of the day, you chose to do it, Alex. I don't know if I'd have done the same in your shoes, but I think it's clear enough you thought it was the right thing to do, and that's all we can ask of you. He clears his throat and leans forward again, a smile once again on his face. I believe that's all I had for you. Anyhow, thank God it's over. I think that's all the information we need for now. Thank you. Could we have the room, please? This is the last. The last is to the CCO, who grudgingly accepts, and here the gear close behind her. Look, Alex, I don't know how involved you were last night, frankly. I don't want to know. Honestly, it doesn't look good. I've done what I can because I like you, but I can't promise it will be enough. Let's just go home for now. There's no work for you until we get a new satellite tower up anyway. As you leave, you see what you could have almost swear is sympathy in the old man's eyes. Back to normal? Probably going to the 4-year term. Pretty sure this is 4 years almost. It's your anniversary, and this year you got a plan. A week away could have just been what the doctor ordered you for you and Sam, but it won't be cheap. It's more than you normally spend, but Sam's worth every penny. Sam still hasn't forgotten that missed anniversary, but you've not made that mistake again in 3 years since. Damn Bozeman. With a trip booked, you've even taken today off, so you can get all out and cook a nice meal from scratch. Fancy. Sam's going to love it. They should be here any minute. Even you and Chris seem to be on the same page for the first time in years. Maybe it's been long enough for you to forgive you. Perhaps they've decided that they were unfair to ask you. But either way, you're grateful for the newfound peace. They've even helped you clean up the house today, so when Sam gets back from work, it'll be pristine. You hear keys in the lock and put the final touches in place. As Sam steps in the hallway, you're waiting in the doorway to the kitchen, dressed to the nines and acting as nonchalant as possible. Alex, what's all this? Oh my God, did you clean? And what's that smell? They give you a quick kiss as they step past you in the kitchen, where the banquet is laid out, candles lit, and Chris and Charlie is standing quietly, grinning. Oh my God, Alex. Happy anniversary, Sam. Happy anniversary comes to the chorus from you two cheerleaders as Sam turns to you, smiling with tears in her eyes. Alex, it's perfect. Sam rushes over and kisses you softly, only breaking off when you get less than a supple cough from Charlie. So, I got officially accepted into the Community Cohesion Management Program, Charlie blurts out. And that's her cue. Come on, Charlie. Time for us to go. Have fun, you two. Chris, thank you, sincerely. You're welcome. Now I've got to go get our own dinner. You can grill Charlie when you get back tomorrow. As in, not tonight. See ya. With a wink. They finish ushering Charlie out the house. You pull out Sam's chair for them. Why, thank you, Sam says, taking a seat and grinning at you. So Charlie's been busy. They shake their head as you take your own seat opposite to them. Tomorrow, for now, you don't really have to do all this, Alex. I know, I wanted to. I love you, Sam. I love you too, they breathe, admiring the panoply of food you've brought for them. Just prepare. Now, where on earth do I begin? They laugh as you pour the first glass of champagne for the evening. You're very lucky to have such a wonderful family. Who could ask for more? Really? This is what we're gonna do? A job down? Everything's ready. You and Sam have been trying to watch Bullet Man for years, but you've missed it in the cinemas and never seemed to be in stock. Which one? Step up movies, I don't care about this part. Sam comes used to with a vacant stare, ignoring both films and accidents. Come sit next down next to you. Sam, what is it? I've been let go from work. Sam was just staring into space. Apparently there isn't a need for 2 nursery teachers anymore. Not enough children. So they can't just justify the expense. Honey, I'm so sorry. It'll be okay. You can find another place. No, you don't get it. There isn't just a demand for younger years teachers anymore. Not just here, anywhere. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but we're gonna do. You pull Sam into a hug. It's alright. What we saved should be okay for a little while. I guess you're right. I just hate putting this burden on you. Sam pulls back and looks at you. But I'll find something, I promise. We're a team. They laugh. God, I just can't believe I just said that. I sound like a bloody Advance advert. You chuckle. We are, though, and we'll get through this together. You flick Bullet Man on, finally finishing the film after years of build-up. It's a typical Hollywood blockbuster. Not best sold on its writing, but enjoyable nonetheless. Later that night, long after Sam's fallen asleep, while cocooned in the duvet, you find yourself wide awake, thinking about money. How long will your savings actually last? Well, I don't think Disrupt really got far. The sterility. 3 years since the uprising. Holy shit, my thing just looks better and better.
Exciting as they used to be, but advances bring your daughter
Well.
to Sunday and add a bit of spice to the mix. We make do, eh?
Oh, look at that. Look at that new tower, too. Well, at least the fucking bears are gone. They can't destroy that.
A rundown of the top-selling songs across the territories. Expect catchy tunes and scenes of an inappropriately sexual nature, not one to miss. At 10 p.m, it's time for Julia's Diary, where the ever-popular Prime Minister reads extracts from her diary in front of a warm fire. Then, at 10:30, it's the latest episode of our drama series, Betterment, which tells the inspirational story of Emily Dennisworth and the brave doctors and technicians struggling.
And this is Jenny. She's the floor manager.
Hi, Stacey.
That's Colin. He, too much. Don't talk to Colin.
Not getting involved and bring your daughter to work, eh, Colin?
Nah, we don't believe in it.
All right, come and sit next to Mum.
Believe in what?
Just days.
How did it all go so right? That's followed by the territory.
Atta girl.
Advanced briefing.
10 seconds, everybody.
Now featuring 16
Monday's a myth.
simultaneous
That
colours.
explains so much.
Okay, we are going in 5, 4, 3.
As we go over to Megan and the team at the end.
Good evening and welcome to the NNN. I'm Megan Wolf. And who's this, you might be wondering? Well, it's Bring Your Daughter to Work Day here at Channel 1. So I'm joined tonight by my foster daughter, Stacey. Say hello, Stacey.
Go fuck yourself.
All right then, here are the stories that matter to you. First up, with Advance confirming that the nuclear fallout from the 20-week war is to blame for the drop in birth rates across the territories, we asked you what keeps you going. I know that I, for one, was quite deflated when I heard about this, but reading all your submissions has really put the smile back on my face. This is from Drew in Humberset. To take our minds off things, me and my partner have been building this house for our hamster. It really does distract us from thinking about the 85% sterility rate. So next week, we're building Nibbles a tiny conservatory, a loft conversion, and a holiday home. Thank you for that. And if you've started a new hobby, do write in and tell us about it.
Looks like the buildings are still the
Next up,
same.
You know how we love your uncanny, comestible coincidences, and I don't know about you, but I think this one really takes the biscuit. I'm not sure what I'm more impressed by, Stacey. The things our viewers spot or the unbelievable way our menu centres are now able to feed every team member every single day. Greg from Proddington has sent us this lovely photo of their breakfast, saying, I couldn't bring myself to eat my toast this morning because I could swear it bore the spitting image of the great Julia Salisbury's relatable face. So I had to make do with a plate of butter and 2 spoonfuls of jam. Do keep those coming in. Come on, can we have a go? We've just got time for one more of your stories, and this one is an inspiring story of rehabilitation. That's it, just tell us who it's from, yeah, and then read it out, okay?
Apparently, this is from Sherry Intendant. Here I am, just 6 months out of betterment. I'm healthy, sober and working thanks to the facilities I had access to on the inside. I'll never have to go back to my old life of stealing cars and burning down charity shops. I just wanted to share.
This seems like a very normal day.
Love hearing the way our neighbours and team members have been able to become better teammates. So do let us know your stories here. You can do this bit, Stacey.
No, you're right.
Come on, give it a try.
Let us know your stories here at the NNN.
Right, bit of a change of pace coming up here. You'll need to use the SFX buttons for the next segment, but advance have already selected when and what to use. Simple stuff. Just follow your government orders.
First up tonight on the NNN, it's time to celebrate this week's team lottery winners live from the Shakespeare Theatre right here in the capital. We're going to hand over to Julia Salisbury. I suppose you don't think much of her either, eh, Stacey?
She's got a lot more going for her than you wankers.
Okay, surprising vote of approval there from Stacey. Let's go live to that right now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's Team Awards. Of all the many duties I have as team leader, this is by far the most pleasant. As I so often say to you, the uneven past is now, following the demise of Disrupt, firmly
No.
This is the new future. And I say to you, it's better now. I am delighted to be joined here tonight by one of the oldest people in Territory 1. He was born over 107 years ago. Please give a warm team welcome to Alfie Tatchbadger. So, Alfie, you must have seen so much in your lifetime. What have been some of the highlights? Alfie? Is he all right?
His hearing aid isn't turned on.
Oh, could you turn it on?
He says it drains the battery.
Well, will you tell him that we'll buy him a brand new battery after the presentation?
Yeah, he says that's fine then.
Really?
And I will help him with that, yeah.
If you would. Sorry, can't get the staff.
We got it.
So, Alfie. What? You're 107 years old.
Oh, don't bloody remind me.
Would you like to tell the audience what that's like?
Where is everybody?
Out there, in the dark. Oh, bless him, it's not just the ears.
Who are you? 2 sugars, please.
I'm Julia Salisbury, the Prime Minister.
I like this story. Who are you really?
No, I really am the Prime Minister.
Oh, so you're a
woman.
A woman. One of
Women can do anything men can do these days, Alfie.
Yeah, fuck up the country.
This standing up.
I can't say I've ever tried.
No, I didn't think so. 2 sugars, please, and not too much milk.
Shall we get to the awards, Alfie?
Are you you going to ask me about my life?
Well, I'm not sure we have enough time left now for that, so...
When I was 9, I wanted a pet, so I asked me mum and pap. There was no television then, back then, you know. We made our own entertainment out of coal and roadkill.
Well, that's fascinating.
So they got me a pet, see? But it weren't a dog. They told me it were a dog, but it were a stone.
A stone?
Yes. So I called it Patch, which was a popular name for a dog back then on account of the king having a patchy face.
Oh.
And I decided to introduce him to pretty little Gertie Thimble, who lived up the road.
Oh, how romantic.
She threw my dog in the river. That was the day I decided I'd never marry.
And that's the secret to your long life?
Oh no, I've been married 7 times, divorced 8. There was a mix-up with number 3, see? Yes, I'm just lucky. Are we going back to the home soon?
Soon, Alfie. First, let's turn to the reason we're all here, the weekly Territory 1 Team Awards. First up tonight is a lady who really knows how to put in the extra hours. She works at a transition centre in Hamble-Bamblebury, and she has single-handedly allowed more families to unburden each other than any
Shut
other
up.
nurse in Territory 1. In the uneven path, she'd have been locked up.
Shut up.
Tonight, she is
Shut
being
up.
honoured as a team player. Please welcome Daphne Snister.
Are you here to change me?
Just give her a medal, Alfie. There's a good boy.
Got you. I mean, 2 sugars, please. And don't let it steep too long.
I think you're supposed to give me one of those.
Oh. Well,
There he goes. Look.
I can't get the arms up any higher than that. You'll have to go down now.
Thank God those fractious times are behind us, and now the territories are thriving.
Are we in? As the actors said to the bishop.
Yes, thank you. I've got it from here.
Well done. Daphne Snister, everybody. Now, open your envelope and find out what you've won. Don't hold back there. She's tougher than one of Peter's homemade Eccles cakes.
Got it. I've won a holiday for 2 in Territory 15. Used to be called San Palmerino, didn't it?
I believe it did, yes.
Why couldn't we have stuck with that then? It's easier to remember.
We're all one nation now.
Hang on a minute. Isn't it still on fire?
Daphne Snister, everyone.
Oh, what about my change? I've been in these wide fronts for 3 days now.
We'll get to that, Alfie.
Oh, right you are, love.
Next up tonight is a couple from Farnley who, after a rocky start losing their family's ill-gotten gains to the Assets and Wealth Act, have really embraced the new future, setting up a community farm and petting zoo in their local area for all the local children to play. Please welcome Otho and Lobelia Jackson Randyganis. Medals, Alfie.
You know, when I was in the trenches, I had a pal called Scotty Wilson. He was from way up north, so I didn't understand a bloody word he said. But he were my best mate.
Should we describe them ourselves?
Probably for the best.
And his best mate was Smudger Ace. There was them two. Fiddly Eric, Unstable Terry, and of course, Leggy Sydney. She were a girl. But she had a boy's name, so they shipped her to the front anyway. First girl any of us has ever seen close up. She's dead now. They all are. Smutty never made it home. Fiddly got shanked in Frankfurt prison in an argument over an olive. And Terry, he exploded quietly at home. Sydney got a fatal skin condition.
I did not mean to click on that one.
Herself to death.
I do know that.
Thanks, Alfie. Great contribution. So, Otho and Lobelia, a petting zoo.
After we lost all our wealth, we discovered there were actually people who had never even owned a pony.
I used to have 3.
So we decided to do something about it. That's the type of people we are, you see. Advantage of a private education, probably.
Well, I'm sure we could debate that all night, but there's no time. So, let's see what you've won.
Yes, but before we do, there's something I wanted to say to you.
Oh, absolutely. Every citizen of the new future has my ear.
When Advance came to power, you took all of our wealth. You took the shirts off of our backs.
Quite literally, in my case, I used to collect shirts.
You might as well have the rest of it, too.
Oh, security!
Oh God, not again. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Fannies and the news are not good bedfellows. Keep those flappy bits off my channel, Alex.
Hedgebetter. And you are? Oh, no.
Go!
It isn't right and it isn't fair.
You tell him, girl. That's my wife, you know. Oh, no, you don't.
You can't mix pearls with swine. It isn't right. We used to have 3 horses. Then turned to Fethel and hung well. And now what have we got? 2 mangy goats, 1 mongrel dog called Kenneth, and a rooster that won't bloody shut up!
Can we get this over quickly with sleaze?
As the actress said to the bishop. Oh, here we go again. Hello, Alfie Tadge-Badger. Pleased to meet you.
Stop them!
Oh, don't worry, love. I'll protect you. Oh, 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 oh.
You've got a great what he knows.
You know, this reminds me of when I was in the 20s and we go to the promenade at Shining on Sea and watch all the pretty girls on the beach. Everything was black and white then, of course. We'd visit the Penny Arcade and try to win a block of lard to take home for the family. You couldn't buy lard in those days. You had to win it. Oh, it was so much simpler back then. Boys were boys, girls were girls. Everyone else was recruited by the circuses. There were loads of them, you see, circuses, with their big tents and their candy floss. You'd hear the music, the pipe organ, drifting over the nearby fields. My mum used to call it the most magical sound in the world. This was before she lost her hearing after giving a particularly loud round of applause. Did you ever go to the circus?
What's that, Alfie?
The circus. Oh, never mind. Yeah, just a tea, pet.
Well, that was an unexpected dose of naked nostalgia. Some people simply can't let go of the past. That's why I look in joy and fervent admiration at the younger generation. Such a team. And with fertility falling throughout the territories, we should value our fabulous new generation now more than ever. Our final winner tonight is a go-getter who really went and got 'em, helping to root out more than 170 disrupt collaborators in his own neighbourhood. Since then, he's gone on to be a senior cohesion cadet leader and organised all of the entertainment at last year's Camp Cooperation. Our final winner tonight, Edwin Neverley.
Oh,
You should be in a transition centre, you old nonc. Prime Minister. It's an absolute pleasure to finally meet you. We're very similar, in my opinion.
Well, I've never been much of a role model.
Nonsense, Prime Minister. You have saved this country. You have fought enemies, foreign and domestic, with an iron fist. As with my own tiny fists have I.
Well, let's open the envelope and find out what you've won. Maybe it'll be a fist enlargement.
A year's internship as a behaviour coach at Betterment. Let's show the fools where they went wrong, eh?
Well, actually, Betterment is about rehabilitation, Edwin.
Absolutely. And if they won't reintegrate, we retaliate. Education badge. Thank you for this award. And stay vigilant. Report the non-cohesives. Be a team player.
That concludes tonight's award fair. Join me next week when, hopefully, things will be a lot more normal. Back to you, Megan.
Prime Minister Salisbury there at a highly eventful team awards ceremony. Any thoughts on this week's winners, Stacey?
The nurse was fucking scary, the pretees were saggy, and that little prick will never lose his virginity.
So right for that one, though.
Succinctly put there, if a little profane. After the break, we'll be going live to a star-studded premiere.
You shouldn't be interning at Betterment, you should be being enrolled. Peter Clement was my best friend, and I wouldn't have changed one thing about it.
Alex Vincent.
Oh, Alex, one other... What's that? You're off already? I know you had to take the day off work with uni, but...
How to make sure what they were saying.
Oh, I see. No luck still with Theodore?
I wanted to show everyone what was going on.
Darling. Of course. I'll speak to you later. Oh, Alex. Completely forgot what I was going to say. Blast it all. Still, I'm lucky to have her.
Their war has denied us the right to our children, even as they still refuse to feed their own. But they have underestimated us, for though they may have scarred our bodies, they will never damage our will.
Yeah.
Our mutual bonds.
That's totally fair.
Birth rates may be challenging, but happiness is everywhere. Satisfaction radiates from every metric.
Radiates. All right.
So, Patrick and Robin are just going to grab her hand, and then you've got these generic links in the autocue to glue it all together.
They do know I have a Queen's View degree in journalism.
Bet you wish you'd studied something useful now, eh?
You will get censored.
To work day.
You will get.
Our honoured guest.
I wonder what goes on now.
Around that boy band, Hotspot.
Heat rash. Hotspot won it last year.
Heat rash. Oh God, they're running out of names, aren't they?
I hear the computer comes up with them, the songs too. Ah, there she is, and just in time too. That's 10 seconds, everybody.
What have you been up to?
What's it to you?
And we are going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. Stacey's still here.
Wishing she wasn't.
Thanks, Stacey. And in this segment, we're delighted to have sent Robin and Patrick to the movies. Yes, tonight is the world premiere of The Automated, starring Lawrence
I'm gonna be here for another
Blankenbach
16
and the late
minutes
great
of nonsense.
Patrick Boat Shoe. And all the stars are out tonight. We first covered this film almost 5 years ago, back when it was called
If I didn't
The
probably
Medicated.
censor
Then
Jesus,
for mysterious
maybe I
reasons,
would
the
have
film
gotten a
was
lot
suddenly
more.
pulled the night before its release. Well, since then, executive producer George Focus has spent 5 long years polishing the film and turning it into a special edition and premiering tonight. With extensive state-of-the-art visual effects and a top-quality voice team, George says it's the movie he always wanted to make. Now, let's take a look at it.
I can't deconstruct it.
Captain?
I can't deconstruct it. Robots!
Is this a wig?
You think I don't grow that?
No, Dick, I'll kill you. Think of Saturn.
There's something on your face, Chief Harrison! I wish you were real, baby. Flesh and blood.
Captain Quasar.
But you're just ones and zeros, baby. If only I'd noticed.
Captain Quasar.
You rusted, but I didn't notice.
Captain.
I'm buffering, chick, you said?
Got one on you.
God damn it, lost it all!
Here's a map.
What's a map? Okay, so head north on Interstellar Avenue, left at the asteroid belt, and a tricky 3-point turn at Uranus. What are these symbols? This corner, this is the key.
We could shut it down.
Yes,
Stop doing
yes,
this.
we could shut it down.
I'm trying to watch the dang movie.
But we have to ask ourselves, Who are we?
Gosh, thrilling stuff. What did you think, Stacey? Thrilling stuff. What did you think, Stacey?
The robots were all right, I guess.
They certainly were. Let's go over to Robin Short now in Western Square, who I believe has got the star of the show. Robin.
Right, you, shall we?
Yes, we are live from Western Square with a man who needs no introduction, Florence Blunderclatch. How has your evening been so far?
Magical. Absolutely magical.
Are you kidding me?
My most dear friends all gathered here to celebrate my work. One really couldn't ask for much more. Good one.
Well, on that note, with award season just around the corner, are you hoping to add to your collection for a third time?
Well, I really couldn't say. But if the association deigned to honour me for a fourth time, so be it. It's really not for me to say. But let's just say that I know of 3 little gold men who are getting rather lonely.
Absolutely.
Because I've won 3 little awards.
And each more deserved than the last. Well, it's safe to say that your career has gone supersonic in the last couple of years. How's that been?
Well, as I was saying to Stephen only yesterday, that's Stephen Spellman. The Stephen Spellman. Lovely chap. I mean, unbelievable mind. I said, Stephen, you know, this really has been quite the ride. Did you know what he said? He agreed with me.
Wow. And what do you
Seems like a really shitty award winner, not gonna lie though.
Well, if we're talking actual numbers, I'd have to say 60% talent, 30% looks, and 10% passion, brackets general. Not to mention the incredible coverage on election night. That really was the start of it all. That and my own range of sick bags. Lawrence's Chundercatch.
Wow, who could forget? Well, it's been a delight talking to you, as always. Thank you so much. Well, Patrick Bannon should be with Lil C for a conversation
That's
that
not
doesn't
Patrick
involve
Bannon.
vomit. Patrick!
Thank you, Robin. Let's hope not. I'm actually joined here by...
Billy Bob Jean Short. And surely you recognize my youngest, pop sensation, Lil D. Her Lil C Colors album drops next week.
Actually, we weren't expecting Lil
Well,
C.
come on.
She's around. She's not been feeling very well. She's put me in charge.
Has she?
Well, the courts have. They gave me stewardship over her estate, her finances, and her internal soul. Praise Craglar!
Praise Craglar.
Wow.
Well, you guys get to pay attention to the story more.
We've got some questions for her.
Well, she might be along later, but as her legal and spiritual guardian, I'll be happy to answer all any questions on her behalf.
And Lil D, was it? Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you. You know what? I feel great.
Well, who are you wearing?
I'm wearing Little C, and you could be too.
Really?
Little C's new line launches tonight. This is one of my favourite looks. It's called... Ah!
Oh, what a unique name!
Hard to spell, though.
But of course, Lil C is basically fashion royalty now, with a veritable clothing empire to her name.
Yeah, well, the label's gone from strength to strength since our initial TV launch on this very show, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So really, we have all you to thank for all this. You know, this hat cost more than my second jet. Feel that? Feel that?
Yes, it's a nice hat.
Person.
And Forbes magazine has named me the youngest
Oh my
self-made
goodness
success
gracious.
story ever.
And do you have any advice for anyone wanting to follow in your footsteps?
Absolutely. All you need to succeed on your own is your family's financial backing and pre-existing fame. It's not rocket science, people.
Oh, well, but in sadder news, am I right that Lil C is going to be retiring from music?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I'm sure you can imagine. At 25, she's far too old for pop music now. She can't keep up with these young stars. So her best of album is out now, and she's touring that later this year. And then her farewell tour the year after that. And that's her last chance to see her. So until the reunion tour, and then the classic tour after that. But it's been a long and varied career, as you can imagine. She's very, very proud.
Oh, and if her health's bad, then maybe it's for the best.
What's wrong with her health? Oh, yes, her health. Her poor health. And it's surprisingly expensive treatments. Curse you, Zaytan! Damn your intergalactic justice!
Oh, yeah. Well, we better be letting you get back. Those babies aren't going to sell themselves, or possibly at all. Billy Bob, Lil C, D,
Yep.
thank you so much for joining me, and do pass our best wishes.
It's Jesus.
Oh.
Now, it looks like Robin is with a music legend who actually is irreplaceable. Is that who I think it is, Robin?
It absolutely is, Patrick. Jesus, how are you?
Yeah, you know, I'm good. I'm great.
Oh my God!
Silencing me, silencing the truth.
Are you referring to your attempt to incite violence against the democratically elected leaders of this country on live TV?
Yeah, exactly. And instead of being held a visionary, my management and agent, they all dropped me.
Oh, no.
But you can't break me when you didn't make me, you understand? See, I'm the voice, I'm the hope. You can lock me up, call the doctors, but only the moon can judge me.
So, what have you been up to since your team cut ties with you?
You know, keep building, keep moving. I'm actually working on a track right now. Written, recorded, directed, all by myself.
Can we hear a bit of it?
Well, now.
I know I'd love to hear it, and I'm sure the people at home would love to as well.
Yeah, sure, of course. Give me the mic.
All right, let's hear Jesus.
The news tried to shut my mouth, but it won't be long until they go south. Cause my name's Big J and you can't stop me. See, no censorship can stop me. Yeah, see, that's all I've got at the moment.
Did you just rhyme me with me?
No! Daddy promised this wouldn't happen again. You're supposed to clap and say, well done, Julian, well done.
Well done, Julian.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Jesus.
Now, ask me a polite question, and I'll walk away nicely.
Is it true that you're heir to a hotel chain?
What? Where did you hear that?
And that you're very much alive parents
La, la,
are
la,
currently
la,
on the
la,
run
la,
for
la,
massive
la, la, la,
financial
la, la,
hoarding.
la.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you trying to censor me? Oh, Jesus there, who really does seem to be going from strength to something. There are just so many stars here tonight, Megan. It really is the who's who of whatever here. I'm going to see if I can grab a moment with someone rather special. I hope you're not too jealous, Megan. Back to you.
But I think Stacey and I are probably in quite enough trouble where we are. So, 3 big names there, Stacey.
Yeah, big names.
Any thoughts about them, maybe from your generation's perspective?
You won't like my opinions.
Oh, go on, try me.
Well, Bumbanonk is so old he's like 1 week away from a transition centre, so who cares? And Lil C was cool when I was like 12 or something, but now she's just another fucking loony. And Jesus is a disrupt-loving wanker who should have died with the rest of them 3 years ago.
You're right.
You agree with me?
No, you're right, I don't like your opinions. But thankfully, we can go back to Patrick now, who has another familiar face to catch up with. Patrick, what's the atmosphere like there?
It's absolutely electric, Megan. I can't quite believe it either, but he's here. It's Crazy Neil.
Hey, I can see him fucking
how you doing?
fuming.
Neil, our audiences just love you. They've really, really connected with your ads over the years. What's it like suddenly being so popular?
It's crazy. People stop me in the streets, they expose themselves, they write me threatening letters. You know, the stalker has become the stalkee. A real taste of Neil's own medicine, if you know what I mean.
Crazy Neil.
What's been the most challenging thing about being so famous?
It's places like this. You know, being around actors and rock stars. They're real crazy. And Crazy Neil knows crazy. And I'm used to being the loudest whack job in the room. Hey.
Yes, I can imagine.
But I know what you're thinking. Hey, Neil, where's the crazy deal?
We got crazy deals on chairs. You ever sit in a chair that knock your socks off?
No, I can't say that I have.
Makes a mess of the carpet. But what do you say? We got a deal?
Well...
Well, what about Betty Andrews' handbag? It's real leather. It's real cheap.
Oh,
And
wow.
it even contains our heart medicine. Spicy.
No, really.
You've got the chair. You've got the bag. You're really busting my balls. What can I do to convince you? Let me throw in my wife, Mrs. Neal. It's the latest model. Not a scratch on her. Pearls like a charm. What do you say? We got a deal.
Look, I can't take your wife.
Yes, you can. I got loads of them. Come on down. Crazy deals.
I love
We got
Crazy
crazy
Neal.
deals on chairs. We got crazy deals on meals. We got crazy deals on wheels. We got wheels on meals. Meals on wheels. We've even got endangered seals. And we got meals with endangered seals.
Thank you, Crazy Neal.
Thank you, Neil. Well, it's always a dream come true to meet a hero. How about that, Megan? The man himself. Aren't we lucky? Back to you.
Thanks, Patrick. What a colourful interview there on what looks like an amazing night. They certainly know how to make an entrance, I hope. And the automated really does seem to have unstoppable written all over it, because despite Boris Hawley in Hours magazine calling it Lawrence Blunderclatch's overly long suicide note, in a review which ends with the words, "and he hasn't even had the decency to see it through," the film, which is free to all residents of the territories, has seen record pre-bookings and looks set to run for months and months. But let's go back to those lucky few seeing it tonight. Oh, I'm so jealous. Robin, you seen anything unusual there?
Well, it's certainly not my average evening, Megan. And to top it off, I'm joined by famous, or possibly infamous, CEO Sophia Rimington. Sophia, may I call you that?
That's my name, hun. Just don't wear it out.
And who are you wearing tonight?
Actually, this is from Rimington's Fistcakes, our clothing line, and it's called Grace and Plenty. There's only 10 of them in the whole world, and they're handmade by blind former fisherwomen. You should see the state of their hands. It's inspirational.
Wow. And so tonight's film, The Automated, is hyped as a cautionary tale. Will your company be taking that warning?
Well, it's funny you should ask that, because recently we had the science guys to reflect on that unfortunate incident with a toy a few years ago.
Ah, yes. Mr. Snugglehugs, I'm sure we all remember that.
Well, we said, what if, instead of a deadly toy, we make a softer, more feminine version, you know, slap a wig on it or something, and teach it how to love. I mean, the technology is still decades away from where we actually need to pull it off, but it's a dream worth chasing, don't you think?
Aren't all dreams worth chasing?
Well, that depends. If it's sleeping with the family dog, probably not.
How did you know about that dream? It was one time at flute camp, and I haven't licked a toad again since.
It was just an example.
Of course it was. I knew that. Obviously. I was just joking. Of course. Of course.
Well, I should probably...
Yes! Yes! Right,
Movies
you are.
about to, you know.
The movie, right, yeah.
So I'll just...
Yes, definitely. And I'll throw it back to the studio and go hide under my duvet for a couple of months in shame. Megan?
Thanks, Robin. Lucky you, and enjoy the movie. The Automated opens in cinemas.
Don't
across the
die in the
territories
camera, I
this
can still
weekend.
see
What a
you.
Star-studded event, hey, Stacey?
Who cares? No one goes to the cinema these days.
Of course. We'll be back after these messages. I still go to the cinema.
You should get yourself a video recorder, like the one at the home.
Yeah, I've got a video recorder. It's just not the same, is it?
You're right, it's better. No unevens chatting and chewing all the way through.
Oh, what about a kiss and cuddle on the back row? Doesn't that happen anymore?
In public? What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me.
Feeling better?
All right, you are?
What the fuck is this ad?
I think Ronnie's on something. I know he is. It was on his rider. Apparently it's medicinal.
Ronnie's always high. Give him orange juice.
My God, she speaks.
He's a stupid cunt.
And just like that, you wish you wouldn't.
A+.
We seem to be a bit bunched up at then.
Oh, don't worry. It's so cool.
It's what now? Oh, here's Megan. She's going to be interviewing you.
I wonder if Alan James is dead. We have no news on. I know they fell, but I need to see if my goat Alan James is still there.
Fuck off, Ronnie. Right. No, I'm sorry, but if we can't be polite, you're going to have to wait in the dressing room.
Whatever.
Do you want to go and wait in the dressing room? Hmm?
No.
No what?
No. Thank you.
Okay. And sit up straight. You're ruining my shot.
That's 10 seconds, everybody.
No co.
Fucking right, Noko.
What's that? What's no?
Bring in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. For our final segment tonight, Stacey and I are delighted to be joined by Heat Rash. Their new album, Girls and Why We Love Them All, comes out this weekend. So, let me see if I can get this right. It's Nolan.
I write the songs.
Ronnie.
That's what it says on my tattoo.
Oh, you've got a tattoo of your name on yourself. Okay.
In case he forgets it.
This raconteur, you must be Chinny.
Stop.
Why do they call you Chinny?
It's because of this ugly old thing.
I don't know what you mean.
God, you're so fucking embarrassing.
Dale. Crikey, Dale, you do not look old enough to be in a band.
I get that a lot. I'm actually 23, the oldest one. I have a growth disorder.
God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that.
It's so co-pretty.
He's only messing with you.
He's actually 58.
Okay, right, I see. You're going to be a handful, aren't you, boys?
Mum. Gross.
And you must be TP. What does TP stand for?
Tiny prick.
It stands for team player.
I see. How long have you had that nickname?
Ever since Nolan decided Terry Prodance was a shit name for a member of a boy band.
No co, Ronnie.
Yeah, no co, Ronnie.
Sorry, what does no-co mean?
It's the opposite of SoCo.
Fuck's sake. SoCo.
Yeah.
So cohesive. You pretees say cool.
Right, okay. Thank you, Stacey.
Sorry about her.
Not your fault. She's uneven.
So, you guys met through a popular show on one of our rival channels, didn't you?
Yeah, Team Players with a Z.
So, how did that work then?
Well, actually, Dale and I knew each other from school. We were actually classmates. And Fuck's sake, Nolan, mate. Give someone else a chance. We all went on Team Players. We all auditioned. The judges put us into bands. And, yeah, we went to their houses and they just put us into bands.
Okay.
It's an example of how we're greater than the sum of our parts when we work in harmony.
And occasionally singing it.
So every week on the show, they get these bands and they give them a song that the producer just found from under the bin somewhere. Actually, I write the song. And the public would phone in and decide which song they like best.
Right, and then the losers would be eliminated. Yeah?
Mum.
What?
No co. Pretty. So no co.
The band who get the most approval get to play their song again.
Sure. So what happens to the losers then?
Mum.
What do I keep doing wrong?
We don't use the L word anymore.
What, you mean losers?
Would you please stop saying that?
That word is a pejorative. It's a word designed to diminish. At Go Getters, I learned very early that we only win when everybody wins.
But, sorry, that's not real life, is it? That's just sports board, no?
Thought you were SoCo.
Yeah, I am so-go.
Nah, you're a shrinker. Can't be friends with shrinkers.
She doesn't know what you're talking about. She doesn't understand.
So I do understand, actually, Stacey.
What's a shrinker?
Well, a shrinker.
What's
is...
a preety, Mum?
Well, I think it means someone who's older, doesn't it?
Pre-territories.
It's someone who turned 18 before the new future. We call you pretees.
Unevens.
Mimis. Nonks.
It's not her fault she's old. She can't help it.
I'm not that old.
I'm trying to help you here.
I don't think I need your help.
See? Total Mimi.
Is that so?
Yes, obviously.
You know what the real problem with you lot is? You just can't get over the fact that your beloved Disrupt are gone and you just don't fit in anymore.
But the truth is, Disrupt were violent, no-co pricks being led by a fucking psycho. I'm glad they lost, and you should be too.
Listen, not everyone over 30 supported Disrupt, Stacey.
Not everyone, no, but one fuck-off lot of you did.
I did. I'm over 30, so that's fair. Probably.
We've all learned maybe a little bit more than we expected to there. I'm genuinely delighted to have met Heat Rash. And before we end the show tonight, I think you're going to sing for us, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. We're going to sing a song from Girls and Why We Love Them All called Pieces of My Heart, which is about a real relationship I had with an actual girl.
Oh, Nolan, give it a rest, mate. No one cares. Go on, let's get on these stools, lads.
Right.
So, Stacey, can I get your contact?
Oh, she's 15. Go on, piss off and sing your song, Terry. Christ.
Right, you are.
So,
I'm enjoying
here
this.
they are with their latest
Oh, shit.
single, Pieces of My Heart. Are you excited, Stacey?
Not for me, no. I only listen to blip music and a bit of jizzcore.
Jizzcore?
Music is...
Ah, yes, I know I meant to mention this earlier. Apparently, these newfangled boy bands change singer all the bloody time. Try and follow along, eh? Keep the shot on whoever is currently singing the lead vocal.
Bro, really?
I saw you standing by the menu center with a brand new pair of Lakers, baby. Do you remember? You took the first of the pieces of my heart.
That ain't even that bad.
Wandered into a bush and grabbed a vodka and stank. Took our assets and our wealth and drew them out of the bag. I gave you little pieces.
We're not gonna do this little beat thing. I'm just gonna just stay focused on all.
I didn't know two hearts could ever feel like this, girl. It's like
I remember seeing this dude on the couch, I'm not gonna lie.
I take all of the loves that didn't last and leave them in the uneven past. Share the new future as my bride. You snatch me inside. There's no need to hide all the times that you cried. As my old man used to say, you blow me away. I just want you to stay. I don't want you to pay. You make me crazier than Neil today. On Liberation Night, girl, I was sitting beside you. We sat there shaking all the way through incisors. We held each other as things fell apart. We took a train through all the territories and we threw away the rules and wrote our personal stories. You took a dozen pieces of my heart. I didn't know that life could ever feel like
Guys, this is peak entertainment right here.
custom made for me by Remington's fist. I take all of the loves that didn't last. I leave them in the uneven past. Share the new future as my bride. Snatch me inside. There's no need to hide all the times you have cried. As my old mom used to say, blow me away. I just want you to stay.
I got this, guys.
I want you to play. You make me crazier than Neil. Make me crazier than Neil today. And now I'm staring at your membership card. There's your picture beaming brighter than a handful of flaws. I'm trying to to hide all the times that you cried. As my old man used to say, you blow me away. I just want you to
It's not even that bad. I wouldn't listen to it, but for a game, they could make songs that fit. Neil.
Wow. Fantastic. Thank you, Clash. That was actually really good. Best of luck. Thank you for coming in. Now it's almost time for final thoughts tonight. And I've actually asked Stacey to write a few, and they're just being programmed onto
What?
the queue now. Now
Oh.
I have no idea what she's going to say. So, fingers on
I thought
that
it was on number 3. I
button in
wasn't
the
paying
broadcast room,
attention.
just in
I was
case.
stretching.
Take it away, Stacey.
My name is Stacey. I guess you know that by now. Don't know why I put that in there. Anyway. I don't watch the news. There's no need. You hear all the important stuff from your mates, so I don't know what's considered important anymore. But I'm pretty sure that it's not rehashed movies and fucking boy bands, so anyway. I'm going to talk about what's important to me. When Advance were first elected 6 years ago, I was 9 and in a home. Not a family home like you call a home. This was a state children's home. It was fucking awful, actually. It was like a Charles Dickens book. The roof leaked and the walls were damp some mornings. The food was bad. Drugs and alcohol were everywhere. No one cared. You had to watch your back all the time because there weren't enough staff to manage us. And yes, as you'd imagine, there was a lot of some bad stuff went down there with some of the staff. Okay. Not all of them, but the others knew, and they didn't stop it. And then Advance won the election. And like a miracle, things started to change. They got better. They had nicer food. The home was not just repaired, but redecorated and kitted out with books and sports stuff and musical instruments and video games. Most of the staff were fired, and the new ones, which there were more of, spent time talking and working with the bullies. And you know what? A second miracle. It worked. The bullying stopped. My life, got better. Because finally, there was enough money to do the good things, and Advance had the guts to do it. I joined Go Getters, and on Liberation Night, that gave me a group of friends that I could talk with when the bombs went off and the power went out. Another miracle. I wasn't alone anymore. And that was the night I finally understood the importance of being in a team.
Huh.
So here's my final thought. I know the people who were doing better under the old system long to go back. You say, we were freer. But what you mean is, we were richer. But for every one of you, there is 100 of me. And even now, after all you've had taken away, you are still doing better than I am, than I likely ever will. You still have homes of your own and families of your own who love you. And I'll never have that. So maybe you should stop looking for the worst interpretation of everything this amazing government does and realise it's not for you. It's for the millions like me. And you can cry and bleat all you want, but you're never going to get your money back because it's already been spent on miracles.
Wow, thank you.
Stand by. Stand by.
Is that all right?
It's not over.
Yes, that was more than
Well, I'm
all
going
right.
to follow the disrupt
I
path.
think you might have actually given them something to think about.
So I guess you're going to be taking me back to the home now then?
I was thinking we could go out somewhere and, I don't know, have a meal, talk about our options, if that's okay.
Of course, Miss Wolf.
Security will be standing by.
So they're always there then?
There was a thing a few years ago now.
Oh, with that Jeremy?
Well,
I heard about that. Everyone
this end of the segment will end the video here.
you hear about that?
While this is going on, I want to thank everyone for watching the second part of this episode. I have no political intentions. I'm just going off the game. Please respect D. I actually don't remember how bad I did there. Well, I want to thank everyone who watched this video. I'm going to see if we get a little richer. Seems like I'm going to say the same. Everyone's fair with me. Both Advance likes me, Disrupt likes me, Channel 1's good. We've seen some shocking things this episode. We've seen death. A lot of it. A lot of bombs. And our boy, Alan James, is probably dead. But it's not over. Still got a lot more to go. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.